DJ Derivative Jill.
There she is. There she is.
There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Hello and welcome to Indefinite Lunch in Infinite Combinations, number 143, where we explore all of the Twilight Zone. Today, we're looking at the episodes Mirror Image and The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. And both of these episodes were aired in 1960. We're starting with Mirror Image, which aired on February 26, 1960. And so we're going to bring up those slides. I've got them here.
February 26th, 1960.
Yes.
I remember it well. No.
Well, you were a baby, right?
I was, basically a little over 5 months old.
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway, yeah, I forgot to introduce my panel here, Stone Racket and Scotty R37. How are y'all?
Oh, great.
Doing fine on this Twilight Zone Tuesday, otherwise known as Terrific Tuesday. And I'm so glad that we're here because it was kind of back and forth there for a while, Jill, between you and your jury duty, and then it's like,
yeah, that's right.
I'm glad they rescheduled it.
I was summoned for jury duty today, and I signed up. And then they said, never mind, come back next week.
Next week at the same time. Oh, sorry.
No, on Monday.
On Monday, yeah.
But it was set for Tuesday because Monday was a holiday.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of which, how was your St. Patrick's Day?
No, nobody pinched me.
Yeah, nobody pinched me either, and there was a moment where I wasn't wearing green, but he didn't know it was St. Patrick's Day either.
Yeah. I when I was at work, occasionally some of the nurses would playfully pinch me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, where's your green? Of course, I had a red polo shirt on. It was like, so one of the nursing assistants gave me a little green shamrock sticker to put on my collar.
That's very nice of her.
Yeah, that's usually what the situation was, because I always, I never wear green. So.
Oh, I was thinking about that, and like nowadays, isn't that like would be considered harassment?
Not when the lovely ladies at where I used to work would do that. No,
Yeah. Yeah, you welcome it.
I welcome it, but of course I can't
of,
do it. That would be HR,
right?
Nightmare.
Double
Yeah.
standard. DJ Knight. I speaking of welcoming, I want to welcome the chat. DJ Knight is here. DJ Play Nice.
Not to be confused with the other DJ or the other DJ.
Well, we got lots of DJs.
Lots of DJs.
Welcome to all the DJs.
Yeah.
DJ Knight, DJ Play Nice, DJ Ronnie G, DJ Odyssey.
I think DJ Play Nice is the only true DJ, though. He was actually a DJ, right? Am I right?
He's not the only true one. DJ Odyssey was also a DJ for a little while.
So okay. I stand corrected. Cool.
Mm-hmm. And Jedi Master 2022 is back. Good morning, Jill. I'm trying to wake up. Me too. I'm still trying to wake up myself.
Good morning, Master.
Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Oh my goodness. You got a lot of snow. Dude, Gorilla says I should have postponed. And then he would have been able to join us. Oh man. I couldn't do that. I'm busy tomorrow. I got a collaboration tomorrow. An important one on King Dolphin TV's channel. If you wanna we're gonna talk about
Dolphins.
no
Deep Space Nine, isn't it?
we're gonna talk about Deep Space Nine, the documentary. What
Oh, okay.
we left
Ooh.
behind.
Do you have that on your server?
I should. Well, I will tonight if I don't now.
I still haven't seen it, and I want to, obviously.
And Jedi Master says Bill Mooney was in some great episodes of The Twilight Zone. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. All
We'll
three
get
of
there.
his episodes are superb, in my humble opinion.
Yes.
Go, bot Ron Howard. Sure.
What's that?
Oh, Classic Comics
It's a-
is here.
Hey, Classic Comics. No, I'm being derogatory.
bot
For the sake of
worked.
being derogatory.
Wait, why are you being derogatory about what?
Oh no, I just called Bill Mooney the GoBot Ron Howard, and it's just funny because they're both gingers.
Okay, gotcha. And Jedi Master 2022 decided to become a member. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much for deciding to become a member. That's awesome. Let's play something for you for this occasion. What do we have? Oh. I really got to get these automated. Like when somebody does something, it just automatically plays a video. It'd be easier than doing this.
Wow.
I only use it for medicinal purposes.
That's green.
It's green. Yeah, you are
Green.
green now.
There you go.
That works perfectly.
I said, "Give me the brandy." Oh, sorry.
That works perfectly too. Thank you. Fits in with the theme.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's a Good Life, the one with Anthony Fremont. It's good. It's good you're making it snow.
So here we are.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't listen to me.
I do want to listen to you talk about this episode, Mirror
Yeah.
Image, which, as I said, aired on February 26, 1960, directed by John Bram and written by Rod Serling. And so we start during a thunderstorm at a bus station in Ithaca, New York. And it's raining really heavily. Cats and dogs out there.
Cats and dogs and Eric's.
And Eric's, yes. The Eric's keep us safe. And it's a bus depot. We're at a bus station. And Millicent is our main character. She asks the ticket taker when the bus to Cortland is coming, as it is, goodness, it's 30 minutes late. But the ticket taker becomes increasingly irritated because he's already told her twice before that it's caught up in the storm. The bus is probably caught up in the storm over the bridge. And it'll get there when it gets there. All you're asking isn't going to make it get here any faster.
See, I was curious about it because I don't know when this particular the sort of phrase became popularized, but when she was sitting there and you see in the background it says baggage claim and baggage, I was wondering if that was going to be some sort of foreshadowing in terms of personal baggage that she was dealing with. But then I was like, I don't know, did they have personal or emotional baggage in 1960? And I don't know if it was popularized until much later.
Just the idea of carrying around psychological baggage, or
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's an old concept. I don't know the origins of it precisely. That's something a psychologist would know. But that is a theme of the episode, so that's interesting. You look at that because this suitcase is something strange because it is sitting here, but it's also behind the counter.
Dun,
She's
dun, dun,
confused.
dun.
She's confused because according to her, this is her first time coming up to ask about the bus. So then we're ready to read our opening narration. I think I'm going to read it.
Huh.
Millicent Barnes, age 25, young woman waiting for a bus on a rainy November night. Not a very imaginative type, is Miss Barnes. Not given to undue anxiety or fears, or for that matter, even the most temporal flights of fancy. Like most career women, she has a generic classification as a quote, girl with the head on her shoulders, end of quote. All of which is mentioned now because in just a moment, the head on Miss Barnes's shoulders will be put to a test. Circumstances will assault her sense of reality, and a chain of nightmares will put her sanity on a block. Millicent Barnes, who, in 1 minute, will wonder if she's going mad. And so as you mentioned, Scotty, while she's up there, she sees a bag just like hers. She tries to make fun of this coincidence with the ticket agent, who's also again annoyed because she had already checked her bag. She turns around to see that her bag is no longer sitting by the bench, and she thinks the one behind the counter isn't hers. And so already she's being messed with, and she tries to escape into the ladies' room. But there's an attendant in there too who says, "Oh wow, you're back so soon," basically.
Jill,
And
it's got to be an evil twin, right?
that's right. That's the title of the episode, the mirror twin, and that's revealed here right when she turns around outside of this bathroom. She sees that evil twin. Well, we're suspecting they're evil because they're here to replace us, right? There it is.
I mean, she's just sitting there, Jill. She's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. And she doesn't remember going to the bathroom before, even though the attendant says she was there. So there's
Yeah.
an exact copy of her sitting on the bench.
Yeah, she says, "This is my first time in here."
And so do you think this evil twin is trying to make her think she's crazy?
She's trying to replace her. She's an evil doppelganger. But the thing is, Jill,
But
where's
she
where's the evil doppelganger suitcase?
But yeah, exactly. It does the suitcase disappear and
Yeah, it's like
become the evil twin's suitcase?
yeah,
Or
it's
is
like
she
where'd it go?
stealing it?
And where is she disappearing to all the time? So it's like
Yeah, she runs really fast.
yeah. Now this is when Millicent should charge as quickly as possible out of the ladies' room and attack her evil doppelganger.
That's true. Exactly.
Because,
Or
because
just tell the restroom attendant to turn around and look.
Turn around, look. What the heck? But yeah, I have a doppelganger. Did you guys know that?
But
No.
did you meet your doppelganger?
No, I have one of my supervisors told me that he had it was over the weekend, and so he comes back and tells me on Monday. He said I was getting cable installed at his house, and he opened the door to let the cable guy in, and he just was like, "What is this?" Because he thought it was me. He said he looked exactly like you, and it just threw him off completely. He was like, "What's Stone Racket doing here installing my cable?" So I know I have a doppelganger. And Jill, I have tried for years to hunt him down, and I have not succeeded. But one day I will, because he must be destroyed, because he's the evil doppelganger.
Well, is he evil though? Because he's not trying to take over your life.
Well, we don't know that. No, this is
What?
YouTube. YouTube. This is all in jest. I am just making a joke.
Okay. I know. You're just kidding. But I want to make sure to say hello to Sigvaldison. He's here.
Hey,
Does she
Oh,
have a goatee? That
yeah.
will allow you to know they're evil.
And in this case, Sigvaldison, it's a very light mustache on the upper lip of the evil doppelganger.
She has a lot more baby hair, and you just can't see it. And so now, and now her luggage is sitting next to her again, as if she unchecked her bags, which makes no sense because she's trying to get on the bus.
Yeah, I never leave your bag. When I waited in bus depots, that my bag was always right there next to me. Never left my sight.
well, and in the modern
guess-
era,
Mhm.
they do say that there are signs everywhere. Don't leave your bag unattended.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, nowadays
Yeah, the
you
bigger
have to worry about that.
yeah, the bigger the bus depot, the more you have that sign. Yeah, we had just a rinky-dink bus depot in the beginning. Not very many seats at all, but I always carried on my bag, and never had to check it in or anything. And a lot of times I would just put it in the seat next to me. But
But
yeah.
if your bag was disappearing and reappearing, I think I would probably look into its contents to make sure it's still
Yeah.
my bag.
Open it up and it's like, what the heck? And the strange light, and then everybody disappears. No.
But yes, if you leave your bag unattended these days, that's always suspicious.
Yeah.
So she asks an elderly couple whether they saw someone, like, she doesn't say, "Did you see me sitting over there on that bench?"
Did you see my twin sister sitting over? No.
The older lady just says no. And then she has this inner dialogue. What's the matter with me? What on earth is the matter with me? What's happening? Delusions. That's what they are. They're delusions. I must be sick. I must be running a fever. I'm not even warm. I don't have any fever. No fever at all. She's trying to justify what's happening. She doesn't believe in this kind of stuff. So what's going on? And the bus lady there was judging her from the restroom. And there's a nice man from Binghamton.
Bingingham. Or Binghamton, excuse me, Binghamton. That's how you pronounce it.
But he's also waiting for the bus. He found her purse on the floor, or turns it to her. His name's Paul. He notices that she's disturbed and he wants to help. And she confides that she's been seeing things. And she's afraid to tell Paul. She's afraid he'll withdraw or call the police on her.
Oh, spoilers, Jill.
Well, they spoiled it. She spoiled it herself.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actor Martin Milner, and he has the commentary track on the Blu-ray, and he said that he did this episode between filming the pilot for Route 66 and the sale of that series. So he was in between, waiting. He was waiting to see if the series sold, if the pilot sold the series, and in between gigs there, he had this, and he said he looked was looking forward to working with Rod Serling. He said, and in his commentary, he says everybody wanted to work on this series with Rod Serling.
Well, he's quite an
That makes
affable
sense.
performer and has great presence. I never
Yeah.
saw Route 66, but
Yeah, that's
and
yeah.
I'm not familiar at all with any of the actors, which again, as I've mentioned before in previous sort of conversations surrounding the Twilight Zone, one of my favorite things is being like, do I know anybody? And in this one, no, but I also was really taken by the performances as well.
Yeah, Martin Milner, he's famous for Route 66, or sometimes they'll say Route 66, but and Adam 12, the cop show that he did with Kent McCord, was produced by Jack Webb. And he, in the commentary track, he says he's expects people coming up to him to talk about either of those series, but once in a while he says, I'll get a diehard fan of the Twilight Zone talking about this particular episode that he did. And he's more than happy to talk to them about it, because he's used to talking about Route 66 or Adam 12.
It's so funny, the introduction of his character, Paul. Is his name Paul?
Yeah, Paul. Mm-hmm.
And so he comes up, and it's like, I really enjoy the structure of this. As I sort of mentioned in previous conversations surrounding the Twilight Zone, it's like, I wonder what the O. Henry will be. What is the twist? Am I just waiting for the twist? But getting to know Millicent and getting to understand where she's coming from and sort of the unease, and then the introduction of Paul, I thought it was going to be Millicent by herself or not by herself, with herself, the entire episode. But the introduction of Paul really threw me for a loop.
Well, and that is the case where when you're in a bus station, sometimes it's empty, sometimes it's crowded, and since it's the middle of the night, I guess it's just there are only a couple of passengers in this particular station. And she tells him that she's switching jobs, and so she explains what we know about the moving bag and have all the places she hasn't been, but everybody says she's been. And the weirdest of all, seeing the reflection of an additional Millicent on the bench. And so this is actually this entire episode was inspired by when Rod Serling was at the airport. He noticed a man on the other side of the terminal who had the same clothes on and was carrying the same suitcase that he was wearing. And so Serling considered what he would do if the man turned around. And it turned out to be a duplicate of him. But when the man did turn around, it turned out to be someone else who was younger and, as he says it, more attractive.
Yeah, he has. There's two other versions of that anecdote in my book. In the Twilight Zone Companion, he says he was in London, and in my book it says he said he was in Cleveland, Ohio airport. And he kind of says the same thing. He noticed a person walking past carrying the very same bag, and from the back, and then his other anecdote: last summer I was in the Cleveland airport when I saw a bag at the claim station which looked much like my own. And a man claimed it, and I saw him only from behind. He was rather short, dark-haired, and looked much like me. I said, gosh, what would it be like to see myself walk up and claim my own baggage while I sat at the airport? So
that's the idea.
Yeah,
that's the idea behind
and
this.
I have a little bit about Vera Miles, if you want me to read.
Oh, sure, go for it.
Okay, it's going to be a little lengthy, a couple paragraphs, but I thought it was interesting. Vera Miles' appearance on this episode dates back to August of 1953. While casting a story called The Soil for CBS's Schlitz Playhouse of Stars, producer William Self came up against a familiar problem: an open part calling for the services of an experienced actress and only a few $100s to offer her. An agent suggested Vera Miles, who had been featured in 4 movies since she arrived in Hollywood as Miss Kansas of 1948. Miles was under contract to a major film studio, and they were not at that time lending their stars for television production. But William Self decided to make the offer anyway. To his surprise, he learned that her studio had recently dropped her. Thus, it was that Vera Miles, ditched by the movies as a poor and unlikely investment in stardom, made appearances on television programs. Her work on Ford Theater, Four Star Playhouse, and Crown Theater led to her co-starring role in The Searchers in 1956 with John Wayne, directed by John Ford, I might add. After seeing her as a cancer victim on Medic, Alfred Hitchcock offered her the role of a psychotic woman in the first of his television suspense series. This was Hitchcock's way of offering a screen test. Satisfied, he gave her a 5-year contract and cast her in The Wrong Man, co-starring with Henry Fonda. Months before Mirror Image went into production, William Self suggested to Serling that Vera Miles be used for an upcoming episode. His suggestion may have been the reason for her casting.
Very nice. Hey, that's a great way to show how an actor can progress through roles and make it.
She was originally going to be she was the original actress cast for the role of Madeline in Vertigo, but Vera Miles got pregnant and had to bow out, and Hitchcock was pretty miffed about that. But she was up for that role originally.
Oh well,
and
that can't get in the way.
Yeah, of course, Kim Novak was eventually cast in that part.
Hitchcock had a thing for blondes.
Yep. Yeah, he had a thing for blondes.
Well, I want to say hello to someone else who has a thing for blondes. Hello to Mad G.
Yep, that old 60s slogan for, I believe it was for Clairol, blondes have more fun. It's like, okay.
Well, Paul says that she must be delusional, which is exactly what she was trying to tell herself just in her monologue earlier, inside her mind. But she's upset because she's never had trouble with her mind like this before. And
yeah, but okay, so I did look up the etymology. And apparently, according to etymology or Etymonline, so etymology online, it has been used disparaging as a worthless woman or a strumpet, and going as far back as the 1590s.
What are you defining?
Baggage, emotional baggage.
Okay, continue.
And it has been referred to as like baggage is a worthless woman or a strumpet from the 1590s, which I find kind of interesting just in regards to Millicent, because she is a woman who quit her job. She's in between jobs on her way to luxurious Buffalo. So anyway. So then there's also from the 1670s, a saucy or flirtatious woman, perhaps a butterfly who is interacting with everyone in the bus station, no matter what they think of her. But then, and this is when it was attested as being sort of brought into the popular vernacular in 1957, detrimental, unresolved feelings and issues from past experiences, which I also find kind of funny because of the theme of the episode of, that's my bag. No, my bag's over there. Where's your bag? And then later on, we get sort of a where did it go from Paul's bag? So I think that there may be something in terms of baggage being plastered all over this episode. I think it does speak to something, because I have a very trite summation of what the episode is. But if you do dig deeper, as you do with Rod Serling's writings, I think there's something more to this story, and I will hypothesize about it once we get to the point.
And so maybe,
you're just bringing a lot of baggage in.
See, of course I am.
Of course you are. No, that's fine. That's Serling, if he was still alive and you asked him that, he probably would have said, "Well, no, I wasn't even thinking of that." But that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't think you're reading too much into it at all. It's just an interesting subtext for sure.
Well, and
So
one of the
maybe
things,
that, and so maybe that baggage is how the evil twin assumes the identity of whoever they're taking over. And so there is only one bag. There's
We'll
only
talk.
one.
Yeah,
We'll talk about
there
it.
can only be one Millicent and one Millicent suitcase.
But we'll talk about it when we get to when more has been revealed through the course of the episode. But
Okay.
I think that one of the best things that a writer, filmmaker, storyteller can do, and I know that David Lynch did this, Rod Serling did this, a lot of well-known storytellers have done this, is they'll say, well, what do you think? Because I wrote it. And as long as you received it, it's up to your interpretation on how you enjoyed it. And so I do like that sort of a veil of mystery. And it's like, I'm not going to connect the dots A to B to C for you. Just how did you feel about it?
Yeah,
Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I like that. In fact, I had to take one of my film professors to task because the professor was saying how inarticulate Alfred Hitchcock was about his own work. And I'm like, I took umbrage against that because I thought, well, maybe he wants the viewer to come to their own conclusion. He didn't want to spoil things, and Kubrick was the same way about his films, especially 2001: A Space Odyssey. He didn't want to explain everything. He wanted it to reach the viewer. However it reached them, and But I like that, and some people refer to it as the death of the author. But it's like, well,
But I've
I
seen
think
recently
it,
with the passing of David
yeah,
Lynch, like
uh-huh,
there was an interview with David Lynch, and someone asked him about the subtext of Mulholland Drive, and they were like, "So this is what I got from it, and I wanted to ask you as to whether or not that was something that was going through your mind." And he said something along the lines of, "Oh, that's very interesting." It's like, yeah, but will you tell me whether or not I'm in the right ballpark? And he's like, no, I won't.
yeah, that's good. He and just in, but he was still encouraging though
Yeah.
that it's like it's whatever whatever it says to you, you know, and as long as you're not going way off base, bringing things that aren't there in the film or in the subtext, uh, you know, I'm good with I'm open to hearing other interpretations on all kinds of films. So it's up to the viewer. And one thing I used to say in in grad school, I said, if there's a film being projected in a theater, but there's no one in the theater or the projection booth, is it still cinema?
Because
It's
no
like
one's there to
because
interpret it.
there's no one there to view the text, to view what's being put on screen, and I, but yeah, you need a viewer, someone in the audience to interpret what is being all those images being projected on the screen
Yeah.
as or as Orson Welles called film, a ribbon of dreams.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. That's why everybody can have a podcast about this episode, because no one
Oh
will
yeah,
have the same one. We'll all say something different.
exactly, and that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yes. And so Paul says there might be someone else, that just looks like you, or someone's playing a trick on you, but that doesn't work for her because it doesn't explain why her bag keeps moving around.
Yeah, once they see that it's there, she should have grabbed it and put it on her lap and held on to it.
Yeah, exactly. And the bus, it's finally arrived. Paul carries her bags for her to the bus.
Oh,
And
I can't wait for your upcoming slide of you know who.
yeah, she has her ticket. scene so she can board. Then she sees something that makes her run away. And of course, I knew what it was as soon as I saw this face. That I would then see herself on the bus. But instead of saying, "Hey, look, there's my other self.
Dun,
See,
dun, dun,
that's me.
dun.
I'm
Look,
here. Look at her right there. I'm not
yeah,
crazy."
yeah, that's exactly right. But look at her expression, evil.
Yeah, she's very proud of herself.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jill. It's like she should have grabbed Paul and said, "Look, I was right.
I don't
Paul,
know.
Yeah.
help me destroy her. She's got my seat on the bus."
See, I
Didn't tell
have
me
no,
you had a twin sister.
Yeah,
I have no intention or interpretation of Millicent 2 being evil.
but
I
look at
think
that
it's,
mischievous look. She's like, "Haha, I drove her nuts. She ran away."
but see,
Like
I don't
she's
see that.
triumphant.
I interpret this as a woman who is confident that she is finally on the bus and headed to Buffalo to pursue her own future. I don't think that she has. I don't think Maleficent is Maleficent.
I think
Or
so. I think this
yeah,
is
that's fine.
it's an ominous episode. It's unsettling, and you're the doppelganger from another plane of existence entering this plane of existence is taking over, and that's how I interpret. It's more of a nightmare.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, it's
But again,
Yes.
one of the darker episodes of Twilight Zone.
the thing that you've been waiting for this bus, and you've been following Millicent to find out when the bus is coming, and you figure that salvation is going to be on the bus, and then it presents an even more terrifying reality. And I love the tension building of the episode, because again, I don't think that there's much of a twist at the end, just a confirmation of terror.
Yeah, yeah.
Showing you exactly what this bus station is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's the focal point, Jill, of this weird flux between dimensions, right? No.
That's exactly right, and that's exactly what Millicent begins to explain. She, of course, she's passed out at first, and so Paul stays behind and says they'll get the next bus. And this is very odd. You
it's
have
almost like he's
customers.
weighed down by baggage.
Oh no, there's that word again.
You have customers in your bus station or your airport. Why do you say, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna turn off the light. It's gonna be dark now."
Oh,
When
I
not in use, turn off the juice.
yeah, I have a personal anecdote about that. Twice in my life, I was stranded at a bus depot because I missed my connection because of the bus I was on being late. And so there I was in Des Moines, Iowa, and their bus depot, their Greyhound bus depot. And my connection, I was supposed to catch at 10:45, and I got there a little after 11. And so from 11 o'clock at night until 4:30 in the morning, I had to be stuck in this bus depot. And at midnight, the staff left, turned off some of the lights, and of course they locked the doors, and they said, "Whoever comes up to these doors, don't let them in. We'll be back at 4 o'clock, and we'll be unlocking the doors then. So wait until the morning staff returns." And by golly, there were people that came up and tapped on the glass, wanting to get in. So that was rather eerie. There was like two other people in the depot with me, but fortunately, I had a book, and there was enough light there on the bench by the bench where I could read it. But yeah, that was just interminable. But yeah, they do shut some of the lights down and lock the doors, and staff actually leaves. And sometimes,
Can't believe that. That is
yeah,
disturbing. You don't get
yeah,
that at an airport.
yeah. But at it depends on the size of the depot. And this was just a little larger than the one in my or not my hometown, but the college town I was in, and the one in Cedar Rapids is huge compared to the one in Des Moines, which was really ironic. And that one there was always staff there because I got stranded in that one too on the way back, where I missed my southbound connection. And it's like, doggone it. Fortunately, I had books with me, so. But
Yeah,
but yeah,
books
they
will
do.
help.
This isn't too surprising because this is a smaller depot. So it didn't shock me when I saw that.
One bus station, there was a little TV that you put quarters in and get some TV, and it's
Oh yes, yes. That goes back. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
hey, welcome to the chat, Miss Martin Muses. Great to see you, and thank you for the rose. And the bot says to subscribe. Subscribe to Miss
Jill Note Spot, and it's a wrench, Jill.
and she thinks she thinks the bot. Yeah, this has always been my secondary channel. It's not really much of anything. It's just where I put clips whenever I'm looking for a clip, I can't find it, and so I cut it myself. But there's only like 4 videos on there. And so I ended up using it for my new bot. And
Okay.
it worked again. Look, Jim's landscape is here, and you can subscribe to his channel here.
Jill's
Jim.
Note Spot. Hello, Jim. Your name is Jim.
And anyhow, okay, so then the lady who was working in the bathroom is going home, and she says, Millicent needs some help. And Paul's like, oh yeah, okay. And then he wants to help her. Although throughout this episode, you don't really get the sense that he's going to turn her in because he seems to like her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, if I were Paul, I'd just stay with her and make sure she gets to her destination.
I think that might have been his idea at first, but then when she makes this rant, I think he changes his mind about something I read or heard about a long time ago. About different planes of existence, about 2 parallel worlds that exist side by side, and each of us has a counterpart in this world. And sometimes, through some freak, through some unexplainable, this counterpart, after the 2 worlds converge, comes into our world, and in order to survive, it has to take over, replace us, move us out so that it can live. And Paul says, that's a little metaphysical for me. and so she thinks that there's an identical twin from this alternate reality, and she can't really explain it. And then she goes off into this trance, this stare. She's just staring off into space because she's figured it out. She's figured out why she saw herself on the bus, why she saw herself in the reflection on the bench. It was another her, an exact copy of her, come to this world to take over her life. And that does mentally, it looks like she's broken down. And he goes from, wanting, being attracted to her to like, oh no, poor girl, she needs help. I better call the police on her and get her thrown in a mental institution. And that's what he does.
That's very aggressive.
Yeah.
In
It
terms
is
of what you.
aggressive.
But no, I mean the way that you're describing it, like he met this woman, bit of a smoke show, obviously mentally troubled, and says, okay, well, I'll see if I can find help, but I think this is beyond the help that I can provide. Therefore, he does have a conversation with the ticket guy and say, I guess the police, I don't know who to call. And so I think it is a method of altruism, not a lock her up, she's a loony.
But it's both, really.
He's out of sorts. It like Scotty said, it's beyond what he can do, but it's still upsetting because she's just kind of grabbed by the cops but yeah, It's just it's just a all around unsettling episode.
Well, he lies to her. This is where he starts lying to her. He says, "Oh, there's a friend who might want to drive us. So now
Yeah,
we're going to get a free ride."
that's to cover his use of the phone. He's telling her, "Do you want me to call?" Because if he just gets up and just starts calling, it's like what are you doing? What are you doing? But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's interesting on the commentary track that Martin Milner, twice he refers to Millicent as girl or poor girl, and in the commentary he goes, he said that line is rather odd even for the time. At least that's how he thought of it when he was.
Poor kid. He also says poor kid.
I mean, poor kid. Sorry, excuse me. Erase that. When he says kid, he says it twice. Sorry, that you're correct, Jill.
Yeah,
When
but
he
I
says
think it
kid,
works because it infantilizes her. He's like,
well,
"Oh,
yeah,
she needs help and I can't give it to her." Like Scotty said, I did make it seem a bit aggressive, but yes, there is an element of care in what he's doing because he feels like he can't help her, and that's definitely true too. I do
yeah,
have that later on in my notes, but
yeah,
at first it's just like, damn, the police don't even ask any questions when they finally arrive. They're just like,
yeah.
okay,
We
yeet.
have to assume that everything was explained in that telephone call that we didn't overhear. That
Right.
he's got a
Okay.
very disturbed woman. We got to be real careful. I'll try to get her outside the depot, so you can take her from there. I don't know. We have to assume.
Yeah. Well, Millicent, she tries to look for her doppelganger in the restroom, even though she just saw her on the bus. So why is she looking for her in the restroom?
Yeah, it's like yeah, she's really losing it. It's like oh
She's actually losing it now.
yeah
And
Wouldn't
so
you?
yeah, and so they take her to the hospital, and he does seem to regret it a bit that he's done this.
yeah. He's not happy at all. But it's like now she's going to Buffalo, and then where was Paul heading?
He had to be at
Syracuse.
Syracuse. Yeah.
Syracuse. Yeah, he should have just said, "Let's go to Syracuse on the next bus, and you get a job there. I'll help you to, I don't know. I'm trying to make a happy
Yeah,
ending here, but it's like, no,
would
it's
be
not. That's
nice.
that's 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 a that's just a stone racket alternate reality thing.
You want a romantic ending.
Yeah, me and my romanticism.
I have an idea, but we'll wait until we get there.
All right. Okay, and so of course he puts his suitcase in the same spot she put it, so this must be the portal to that other
Yeah,
dimension.
yeah. This is a rather clever way, and the director. They originally were going to have it in two shots, and it's like, oh no, we can, we just attach a invisible thread, and his body blocks the suitcase, and they just gently slide it off of view.
And they did it all in one. It
Oh
works.
yeah, yeah. He
Oh
bends
yeah.
down and takes a drink, and his body covers the where the
Movement.
his briefcase is, and the path it would take if it was pulled away, and they
Then
just
yeah.
it's just easy peasy. A nice little illusion, and it's all in one shot. So I thought the John Brom did a that was nice that he got that in there.
Well, and the ticket taker tells him to take a nap, and that's when he loses his bag.
Yeah,
And so, someone's stolen it. It's him. And Paul chases himself.
but
Which is a
then
great special effect for the time.
but then but then but then he just stops and goes, "Where are you?" It's like, well, you were chasing him. Did he disappear? It's like, what?
Yes.
So he must have been, he must have phased out, but it's like, uh-oh. Now this is when Paul says, "Oh, I got to find where Millicent is," and what you're saying is true.
Scotty, could you read the closing?
Sure. Obscure metaphysical explanation to cover a phenomenon. Reasons dredged out of the shadows to explain away that which cannot be explained. Call it parallel planes or just insanity. Whatever it is, you find it in the Twilight Zone.
So, Scotty,
Was.
another plane of existence or insanity?
But I think, okay, so again, going back to my idea about the baggage, for some reason, and this is what I'm taking away from this, is it's funny that when his bag goes missing, he sees himself run out of the bus station and himself turns right. And he goes and he does a double take left and right and he runs left. But then he finds himself and he's chasing after himself and then himself has gone away. I think to a certain extent, first of all, my slight title for this episode was going to be "There Are Two of Us?" ? Yes, that's what I would call this. And I think that it is a matter. You ever see that movie Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow? And it's like the two different parallel worlds in which she could have actually done something. Like one day she misses a train, and in that reality, she meets the love of her life. But in the other one, she gets on the train and never meets the love of her life and ends up being cheated on and whatever. I think that this is two parallel lives, and it's about what could have been. What if I had gone with you on that bus? That's why I think that she looks contented. I think Paul's on the bus with her. And that's where the divergence happens, because we never see Millicent again after she's on the bus. Like, I just had
Okay, wait, back up and repeat the last sentence that you said, because how can Paul be on the bus with her when it's the evil doppelganger that's on the bus and she's been hauled away to a mental institution, and Paul just chased himself into the street and lost his doppelganger who has stolen his briefcase. And
I also think
that's his life also.
I think that also it is a possibility that Paul is chasing after Millicent on the bus. Like, I think that there's a lot going on, and I don't think it is. Like, again, I could go back to my trite. How? The Twilight Zone.
How? But he didn't get on the bus.
Right. So, and then I will retract my statement of him being on the bus. She met a man, fell in love, went away. They were both going to upstate New York. I think Syracuse is. Well,
I don't think they had time to fall in love, because she's just freaking out about seeing a double of her.
Only her paranoid parallel is, not the actual Millicent, which got on the bus and was completely content to go to Buffalo to be a professional secretary.
You think the one who was going bonkers was the copy, and
yes,
or the one from the alternate universe. But
I think it is. Both individuals, both Paul and Millicent, are the possibilities of what could have been. And again, you know how I can do this? Reasons dredged out of the shadows to explain away that which cannot be explained. Thank you, Rod. I can make up whatever I want.
Yeah, you can, but I look at the Millicent on the bus and Paul running out of the bus depot after Paul Prime sees his bag is missing. I look at those as the alternate or the doppelganger, a more malevolent doppelganger. I that's how I look at it. That the people we meet in the bus depot are the prime, or we can say the Millicent that we meet in the opening of the episode is the Millicent from our dimension, and then the alternate dimension are the ones that never speak, that are only doing mischief or what have you.
Well, and as we go into the subsequent episode on today's sort of terrific Twilight Zone Tuesday,
Yeah.
is you don't know who the good guys or the bad guys are, and it becomes a question as to which way you want to observe the reality. Again, I find it very fascinating that one Paul goes right, the other one goes left, and but they end up one ends up chasing the other one, and it's all very surreal. And so I get a sense that. That Millicent and Paul are sort of which way to go. Should I have zigged when I should have zagged? What is happening to me? I want to know when no one else has done this. I'm the only one who did this. And it's like, well, again, Millicent does the whole, what about a parallel world where choices are made, but not the choices that you made? Which is throughout the episode. I don't know. Again, I'm not an authority. I'm interpreting it like a Rorschach test.
Yeah, but what you mentioned, doppelganger Paul is on the bus with doppelganger Millicent.
I think
but
I was wrong.
But then we see a third Paul who goes right, but then Paul Prime goes left, and there's yet another doppelganger Paul that he's chasing. There's so many duplicates everywhere.
Wait, how many Pauls are there now?
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, what if there's more? I don't know. We can go.
That's another thing.
You can go many ways with it, but I kind of like to keep things kind of simple.
I do too. I see the episode the same way you do, Stone Racket. That the ones we see first are the prime ones, and the other ones are replacing them.
Yeah,
just a couple of doppelgangers. One is good, one is evil, and then they're just sort of wrestling for control over this reality. What of Lazarus? That's how you perceive it.
What of Lazarus?
There's
basically
one thing I wanted to mention. I believe this was the premiere episode of the new Twilight Zone. It was an adaptation of Harl Nelson's story Shatter Day. And when I saw that episode, I never thought much of moonlighting. I was always annoyed by Bruce Willis, and it's like, no, I'm not going to watch that show. The ads just put me off. And then Bruce Willis did those Seagram ads, which were super annoying. But then here's the premiere of the new Twilight Zone, and who stars in Shatter Day? Bruce Willis. And I just went, that's where I learned that the guy could act. I just went, oh, he was a brilliant episode, but it's basically a doppelganger taking over this guy's life. But the thing is, this guy has been, he's not a good guy. And the doppelganger is kind of correcting things, all the wrong things that he had done. The doppelganger seems to be correcting and slowly taking over.
Oh, it's a good doppelganger.
Yeah, it's an interesting because it starts with Bruce Willis's character. He's in a bar and he accidentally dials his own phone, and he answers, and it's like, what? Who's this? And instead of the Shatter Day, it's the end of the episode occurs on a Saturday, but it's the title episode is Shatter Day, which is kind of, but anyway. But I thought that was a really interesting story, and I thought Bruce Willis was just brilliant.
Very cool. Okay, very similar to this.
Yeah,
it's just a creepy, kind of nightmare.
Yeah.
How easy would it be for someone? We have that problem in reality where your identity gets stolen, and maybe they don't look exactly like you, but they've taken your credit card, your social security number. One time, my husband got a call that the IRS thought he was dead because somebody was using his social security number to file their taxes, and that person died, and so they're like, oh, we think this person's dead now. Yeah. And so it took a while to get that corrected.
Get that all straightened out. Oh, boy.
And now every year we get a special code Yeah,
Yeah,
we're us.
When I first started hearing about um, you know, the identity theft, and then people. I remember one of the women that waited at the bus stop for me when I was going into work. She said that she got saddled with uh, this bill. She was fighting it and everything, and it was just, you know, there are certain legal things you can do, but it's basically, it was a scam. But unfortunately, it was a serious thing, and that prompted me to go with the service LifeLock. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I like.
I went with that, and I highly recommend services like that.
Yeah, we are not sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by LifeLock, but that's the one I went with to protect me from identity theft.
Well, yeah, I hope it has helped you.
Yeah, I haven't
I
had
guess we'll never know.
anything like that happen so far. And then they have this guarantee that if anything like that does happen, uh, yeah, Jedi
Jedi
Master
Master
2022.
says,
Yeah, the movie Vertigo kind of has that vibe. Yeah, it's a fascinating, reality and fantasy. I just love movies that deal with that, and Vertigo is one of the best. Fantasy or reality and illusion, I should say.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's a good episode, and
oh yeah.
it definitely opens up the
Mhm.
imagination.
And Vera Miles,
Even if some of the things are a little odd.
yeah, but Vera Miles and Martin Milner are excellent. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, they carry the episode, and you at least I care about Millicent, and uh, I don't want anything bad to happen to her. It's like, so it is upsetting to see her kind of whisked away, but it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So I start writing happy
It's,
endings, to compensate.
I'm glad it's no longer so easy to send someone to a loony bin.
Yeah.
Gavin Blackburn says, I may steal Scotty's identity and buy myself a 1/6 She-Hulk.
That makes sense. But the problem is that you're gonna like. Do you think like I stole Scotty R37's identity and I've been posing as him for approximately 4 years? So you're gonna have to find Scotty R37. I lost track of him.
You lost your life already?
No, I stole his identity, and that's who I've been posing as. This
Yeah,
entire
he's
time.
been
Okay, I get it
posing
now.
all this time as Scotty R37, but where's the
Who's the
real
real?
Scotty
Who's the
R37?
real Scotty?
Please stand
he
up. Please
he's
stand up.
he's in Syracuse, still waiting for that bus. No,
Exactly. I'm the ticket taker.
yeah, you're
Stop
yeah,
asking.
Ticket taker?
yeah. Jill Scotty, it's the ticket taker. He's the one behind all this.
He is. Is
He's
he a
he's
doppelganger
he's
too, or he's just
not
on the side
he's
of the
he's not just the
doppelgangers?
ticket taker. He's the portal master.
Ooh. Greek letter says my life is so effed up. I have no fear of identity theft. In
Oh
fact, I wish
no.
someone would take my place.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like seeing someone and it's like, you want to steal my identity? You can have it. You can have all of it. You can take it. It's fine. Can I have yours?
And and Gavin likes this episode. It's an atmospheric episode. And he missed this part due to the time shift. That darn time shift. That's been messing with me too. It's getting later earlier, and it is very disturbing to me.
Yeah, it's like they go, well, we should just, daylight savings, get rid of it, but keep it as it is now. And it's like, no, that's the wrong time.
Yeah.
We spring forward. That's the wrong time.
Oh,
You
that's
just
the
keep
problem.
it.
We all disagree.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
keep it.
I
We
I don't want to.
yeah.
I don't
We
want to
keep
throw
it.
my 2 cents in.
Yeah, we keep it. At we keep it at fall back.
I
'Cause
want to keep it at
that's the
fallback.
proper time. That's the proper time.
Well,
But
I'm gonna go have a cigarette and see.
okay,
Well,
look
yeah, I know.
out for your
Scotty
doppelganger,
wants,
Scotty. Watch out for a doppelganger.
Scotty prefers daylight savings time, but it
Yeah,
takes so long
that's
for my
fine
body
too.
to get used to it.
That's fine too. I mean, it's I think most people do. I think they like especially in the summer, the longer evenings, which as a kid growing up, I just loved that.
Before we move on to the next episode, I want to get back to the chat for a bit.
Yeah.
Jedi Master said earlier, did not comprehend the ending until I was older and rewatched it three
Three
times.
times.
3 times, yeah. And he also loves 2001. It was a stunning movie. He was 10
He was
the
10.
first time.
Yeah,
God.
I was, let's see, how old was I? I was 8 going on 9 when I first saw it.
And Sigvaldison remembers seeing those TVs you could pay to watch while waiting
Yeah.
at the bus station.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My
Yeah,
grandma would,
that goes
yeah.
way back for me, our hometown bus depot.
I wonder
But
if they still have something like that now.
I don't think they do. I haven't seen them for years, but the bus depot in my hometown, I always liked this is when I was in grad school, coming back home for the holidays. They had a Creature from the Black Lagoon pinball machine in there, so it's one of the things I liked about our bus depot.
See? That's cool.
Yeah, way cool.
Scotty would like that too. He likes pinball.
Yeah, and the Des Moines bus depot also had some pinball machines, but the one in Iowa City didn't have squat.
But what we do have is Daniel's Hot Topics. He said, Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Daniel.
And also to Greek Letters Larson here.
Aloha, comrades.
Yeah. And hello, Penny.
Penny.
Penny's
Hi, Penny.
here. She's waiting at the DMV for a text message.
Oh, good. I hope you get your star.
Yes, I hope you do get your star. You got your birth certificate now. Hopefully everything is good.
Red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish. This fish drives a little car. This fish has a little star. Something like that, right? Right, Jill?
Yeah, that's right. Old fish, new fish.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's right. I love that book.
Okay, so I do too. But why are we
It
I
was
don't know why
because
this is happening.
Because of the star. I was thinking of that for some reason when I hope Penny gets her real ID star on her license. So I started thinking of the red fish, blue fish.
Gotcha.
Anyway, sorry.
It turns out that Jedi. Well, I like Dr. Seuss, but it turns out Jedi Master used to live in Greece for 5 years, and
Interesting.
So he's happy to meet Larson here, and he's affluent. He's fluent. He's fluent in Greek. That's really impressive. And hello to Miss Sparkles.
Miss
She
Sparkles.
loves the Twilight Zone. Yeah, welcome. Her dad would record it on VHS when she was a kid every year. Wow, you really are pretty young, Miss Sparkles.
Yeah, I like I mentioned when I first my first apartment, that's when I had cable, and I had my VCR, and there was a TV station that out of Minneapolis that was showing Twilight Zone, and that's where I first started taping it.
I recorded stuff on VHS when I was a kid too, but I never thought to record the Twilight Zone.
Oh, you should have. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have.
Mm-hmm.
I did when I was a teenager. I recorded the '90s Outer Limits.
Okay, yeah, the revival series. Yeah, I didn't see too many of those. I'm a huge fan of the original.
I understand. Greek Letters Larson had a request here, which Scotty obliged. Jill, I understand you're trying to give some flavor to the stream, but I'm developing phobia. I'm turning the phobia that I'm turning colorblind. How about some color? I never thought about the fact that my design choices for the stream would cause disturbance upon
here's my
psychology.
Idea. Here's my idea.
Yes.
When we're in the episode proper, I'm going to be monochromatic. When I step away, I'll go color. to try and facilitate everybody knowing that they're not in the Twilight Zone continuously. You can go away. And then I'll come back to monochromatic when we're talking about the episodes proper. But in between, like in the breaks and whatnot, I agree. My cones and rods, they need some color.
Kodachrome.
There is, whenever I bring up a chat, there is a little red dot right there.
Well, and also you
But
could play, like,
it's
you can
not
do the
enough.
clips too. The clips are all in color, most of them, unless
That's
we play
true.
Clerks.
Yeah, I don't have any clerks, but I do have lots
Yet.
in space,
Oh, okay.
which some of them are in color. However,
Yes.
we want to accommodate where we can, and I'm glad that Scotty is helping with that. Thank
Yeah, man,
you.
rods and cones. Rods and cones. Rod Serling and Cones Togo.
You are not going colorblind. This
Yet.
is the Twilight Zone. The guy who made the Twilight Zone has a very interesting past. Yeah,
Yes, he
Rod
does.
Serling
Racket knows much.
Yeah, he war really shaped him, and I'm glad. Like he said, he was writing about his war experience originally as a form of catharsis, and then that led him to writing on other subjects.
Could you
Allegory.
read this
Great.
from Miss Sparkles? Stoner?
Oh, alrighty. Miss Sparkle says he was in the military and was alone with one other dude at a base, and they were starving. I forgot what happened before that, but they finally got a box of food delivered from a helicopter, and the box, it continues, I believe.
Plankton of the sea. Proteins of the
Came down and killed the only other person he was with. Oh dear.
Oh.
Yeah, that does ring a
Oh.
bell. That does ring a bell. Yeah.
Well, and it's also when you put it like that so succinctly, that is basically every episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
It's-
that
You're sitting
yeah,
there
that,
living a life, and then all of a sudden a box falls out of the sky.
yeah, that is very eerie Twilight Zone-esque for sure.
Can you imagine? Like, and don't forget what was in the box, but the supplies that would keep them both alive.
Right.
And it killed one of them. That's eerie as all get out.
Yeah, it's just creepy as heck.
Ow, I just broke my knee.
Ow.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm always hitting my knee on my desk as well when I turn in my chair, and it's like, and the pain was tremendous. It's
Yeah.
like,
I think Rod Serling just slapped me, and he was just like,
Yeah, he
"Shut up,
slapped
light
you.
of my life."
Yeah.
You know what's really creepy is that Swift Minus One says I have a super chat, but I don't see it. Where did it
Oh
go?
yeah, no, I saw it. It's in there.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
There you go.
First,
No, there's another one.
member chat. First, there's a member chat.
Yes.
He's been a member for 16 months.
Hot diggity.
Thank you. That's amazing. Monsters is another episode I saw in the movie theater. Oh, that's the next one that we're going to talk about. If you're talking about
Yes.
the monsters are due on Maple Street.
Yes.
And I want to thank you, Stone Racket, for the $1 super chat.
That's Matt G.
You mean Matt G? You need to thank.
Oh, Matt G.
I mean, I
Excuse me.
can send one if you want me to.
Oh no, I didn't mean to say. Maybe
I maxed out.
Swift minus one for the super chat.
Well, Jill knows I would send a
brain
super
short
chat, but
circuited.
unfortunately, I maxed out my credit card getting the special edition of Supergirl. So
Oh, did you get the Warner Archive?
not a Blu-ray. It's a DVD,
Okay.
2-disc set, and it's got 16 extra minutes and audio commentary. Apparently, it's a fairly rare audio commentary. I checked my local pawn shop for it, and it was like $40, but I found it on Amazon for $20. So, but that's why I can't send a super chat is because of effing Supergirl.
Yeah, that I'm trying to remember now. I'm trying to remember the company because I do have that. It comes in one of those thicker DVD cases.
Yeah.
And
but
it has two compartments, one for disc one and the back one for disc two.
Yeah.
And it's also is numbered. They had a certain number. And
find out.
yeah, I remember on the Colombo podcast forum, one other gentleman had it, and we both
Oh.
posted pictures of it. And he had a higher, I had a higher number than he did. He had one that was, so his was more valuable in that sense.
But it's by Anchor Bay and Stars.
Anchor Bay, yeah, thank you. That's exactly right. Anchor Bay, that's the company. I was thinking Image, but it's like, no, that's not right. But Warner Archive has it on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, the international cut is on only on DVD, and the Blu-ray has
that's why.
theatrical, if I recall correctly.
That's why I picked it up. But we
Yeah.
can talk all about that next week on our new podcast,
Supergirl.
the DVD of Supergirl.
Yeah, let's get to monsters.
Yeah,
well, we're
they're
gonna get
due.
to monsters, but I was still thanking Matt G for the super chat, and
Oh, right. I'm
gonna
sorry.
play a video. No, but
Yes.
that's okay. You guys got excited about Supergirl. That was fun.
Just like a couple of.
Ooh,
Oh,
Like
action.
Supergirl.
Yeah.
Action.
You know what? That's one of the few episodes of season 3 that I've actually seen, and I like it.
Yeah, she's also super strong and powerful because she's from a planet that has denser, different gravity.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
heavier
the one?
gravity.
Isn't that the one where Claire's ex shows up,
There's
and then he
X.
turns into like one of those monsters?
Oh yes, yeah, that's right. She was
Yeah.
like dating her professor, which was a little creepy.
Yeah.
So what is that you just showed?
That was the Orville.
Okay, because
Season 3,
wasn't that
episode 3?
wasn't that actress in the second season?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought I recognized her. I said, well, I've only seen the first 2 seasons. So I'm kind of going, is this the Orville or is this something?
Yeah, that's right.
I wasn't sure.
This is
Yeah.
Paula. She replaced Alara. So
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a little
Okay.
different.
Yeah,
Man,
but
it took me a while to get used to her too.
Yeah. I don't remember too much about the Orville, but
I
I'm an
gotta read
oldie
it.
Olsen, so
Oh,
forgive
I
me.
forgot the poll.
Oh, the
That's
poll.
That's
I
the
can still add
downside.
it. We're
The
in
poll,
the
Jill, the
hiatus.
poll.
All of the Orville
Oh,
episodes are in color. That's
Yes.
what you're gonna have to deal with.
They're in living color.
Oh no.
Yeah. The
Could you
following NBC program is brought to you in living color.
say one more thing so I can add this poll?
Okay.
It's great to see the Penny and Comic Relief Crusader, and I wasn't here to say hello, so Greek Letters, good to see you. Everybody is amazing. Thanks for hanging out and talking Twilight Zone, right?
Yeah. Hello, chat. Hello. Thanks for being here.
If you haven't seen the Twilight Zone, again, I could check out episodes on archive.org. I know, again, Stone Racket is a purist, which is nothing to be poo-pooed about. But yeah, no, we are sort of breaking the broadcast fidelity of it by watching the Twilight Zone theme. However, by consensus, we just really like the theme.
Yeah.
So.
And Stone Racket will remind you that it's inaccurate on every occasion that it can. So you will
only until
know.
the second season, Jill. Only until the
once
second season.
Yeah.
How many episodes are there in the first season? Because we're at like episode 22.
There's I think 36, I believe.
Oh my god. These people worked like beasts in the 60s.
Yeah, the total number of episodes for the 5 seasons is 156.
And yeah, I know. That's why when I looked at the number of Twilight Zone episodes, I thought I really want to review this, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah, but 4 seasons are half-hour episodes, and you do 2 at a time, so that's okay. And then I think there's only 18 one-hour episodes.
So they do, within the original series run, they upgrade to 1 hours.
Yeah, that was it was really strange because CBS was kind of playing games with Serling and company and it was not initially renewed, but then it came back kind of as a mid-season replacement. But they had changed it to an hour, and I don't know if it had anything to do with the Alfred Hitchcock series going to an hour. But yeah, I'm a little rusty on the reasons behind that. But
Sure.
it was it Twilight Zone, like Alfred Hitchcock, it works best as a half hour, as a short story kind of thing. There's not very many, in my opinion, there's not very many of the 1 hour episodes that are really good.
Well, I can't wait.
But the first one is one of the better ones, and then I think there's like three that I really, really like. But a lot of them, I have to admit, a lot of those I have not seen.
It's going to be interesting to see him again.
Yeah, it will
First
be.
time.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. Oh, DJ Knight says peacock. Yeah, the peacock symbol for NBC.
Would you call me?
No.
Oh,
The NBC's emblem is a colorful peacock. That's a bird.
I still want, and I've seen them on different shows, but they have like the little xylophone that does the NBC. I want one of those, but I'm never going to get one. I'm never going to get one. Don't even try to get me one.
Do. Yep.
It's nice. I like that organization of notes.
And they would play that as the NBC letter emblem at the end of a program. They would form. It was animation. Yeah, I remember seeing that in the '60s all the time, along with the.
Was this on NBC?
Yeah, do.
Great.
Yep, that's NBC. That goes way back to the '50s, man.
Who gets to do the opening narration for this one? Did I do the opening narration? Okay, then
no,
it's
you didn't.
Stoneback's turn.
No, Jill did the opening narration for Mirror Image,
I did.
and then you did the conclusion of Mirror Image.
Right, so it's your turn. It's still your turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you want the opening or the conclusion, or do you want to do both, or what do you guys figured out?
I can do. Coin, I would flip it.
Yeah, I can do the opening. That's fine.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll put that in just a minute. So we're moving on to our second episode today, which is The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. It first broadcast on March 4th, 1960. It was written by Rod Serling and directed by Ronald Winston, with music by Renee Garagwick. I can't say the name properly.
Both are newcomers to the series.
I have to look at it. Do you know the name of the?
I'm putting it in the chat.
All right.
Renee Getty. Again.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Let me take a look at it here.
Garagwenk. Oh, that's an anglicized version of that. Garagunk.
Garagank?
Garagoon?
Yeah, Garagunk.
And then be respectful.
And then it was conducted by Lud Gluskin. How's that for another name? Yeah.
Oh my God, that is
original
not a name
music
I want
score
to
composed by Renee Garagunk.
We apologize to the families of these talented musicians.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We were but what's neat about my book is that it'll tell you every theme and when it's played.
Ooh.
And Maple Street is at 30 seconds. What Was It is at 21 seconds. The Power's Off at 1 minute, 1 second. Tommy's
creepy. He's got a whole timeline.
Yeah, Tommy's Outer Space Story at 2 minutes and 2 seconds, that kind of thing.
Damn it, Tommy.
Wow.
Yeah, but the thing is, the music's going through my head right now. It's just it's a memorable score for this episode. But this was filmed, of course, on the MGM lot. But this is the Andy Hardy Street.
Remind me who Andy Hardy is.
Andy Hardy is a series of movies that starred Mickey Rooney that was made by MGM. It was a nice, wholesome family entertainment. But it was a
Was it
series of
musical?
movies. I'm sorry, what?
Was it musical?
No.
Okay.
It did have Judy Garland did play his kind of on again, off again girlfriend, but I tell you the truth, I have not seen any of the Andy Hardy series.
That's
I've
no, and
I've
that's
only
why.
I've only seen clips. Lewis Stone played his father, if I remember right. Um, and that's about all I know about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's why I'm curious because, but
It's
it's
more than
interesting
enough.
because there's production value on this being sort of a backlot. It's a set. It's a beautiful set. They make
Oh
great
yeah,
use of it.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I love the night for night shooting that they did. I just love it when they do that, especially when it's black and white film. I just
Yes.
Night for night. That feels
yeah,
like it's something
I
that pop culture curator like to talk about. Can you explain
yeah.
what that is?
Night for night is you hear the term day for night is when actually are filming during the daytime, but they use a filter to darken the image, and it never
Mhm.
looks right. But night for night is when they actually are filming at night, uh, and
Or
you can
night.
tell, and you can tell it's
Mhm.
You have
it's
to deal with all the shadows.
yeah, and the Fugitive series did a lot of night for night photography, and it's just gorgeous. But
Mhm.
I always enjoy when they actually are filming at night. Uh,
And I would be
So did Pop.
I would
There's
be
that
remiss if I
that
didn't
discussion
mention
reminds me of him.
one, and it's nice. Like it is a great way to be able to view the cinematography and the ambiance of it because sometimes when they do day for night, it's like not really night; it's half night. So
yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, there's just some movies where they just couldn't get away with it, like Bridge on the River Kwai has some day for night, and it's just the nature of the photography back then, the CinemaScope especially. It's what they had to do, but yeah, it just never quite looks right. It's like, no, that's a pretty bright moon. If that's the moon, oh, that looks like sunlight. But yeah, this one is very well done for a newcomer. As far as the director, I don't recognize him, but he did a bangaroo job.
The director Ronald Winston. We
Ronald
see
Winston.
the Maple Street sign, and we jump right into the opening narration. It's in two parts, so I'm going to put that in the private chat. And
also,
in between, go
I
ahead.
did want to bring up that Day for Night is an excellent tragically hip album. That was for the Canadians.
Oh, and it's also a Francois Truffaut film.
Oh my!
Yeah.
We're going to read the opening narration, but before we do, I have just received a super chat. I think I need to
Yeah.
address first.
Oh,
Old Man Bird for $4.99. You guys are playing inside ball with this film stuff.
Yes, that is
yeah,
absolutely correct.
yeah.
I
That's
like that.
yeah. It's inevitable with me because I'm one of those stuffy film students.
Well, but also part of the reason that I enjoy hearing the stories, most of the time, is is because if you come to the show and you want to learn something, I know we're talking about stuff that you may have to Google or Bing, but like you're gonna or ask Grok. I don't know. This
Yeah,
is worth investigating. I am of a mind that when I watch something that I enjoy, I open up IMDb, I crack the Wikipedia, and
yeah.
I order the paper book.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
and it's not because we're trying to be snobby or nothing. It's because well, maybe there's going to be some information, and we're hoping that a lot of it is okay.
Yeah.
And if you disagree or you have questions, the world is your oyster. Entertainment is available everywhere. If you'd like to go to the internet, you can. Public
Yeah.
library, suggested. Movie theater, doubly so.
Yeah. I agree.
Perfectly said. I love to learn stuff here.
I was just being facetious. I am a film grad. Uh,
Sure.
film is my hobby. I love talking about it, and if I get carried away, I'm sorry. It's a fault of mine.
No, no.
Well, I'm the same, Scotty. To my potential detriment, I like going to film school with Stone Racket.
Yes, me too. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Usually.
You must not go.
Oh, right. What am I doing? Why am I in
Lasira. Uh-oh.
No.
Oh.
It's okay. I pressed the wrong button.
Oh,
So,
dear.
no,
Oh, no, that was scary.
it was for a
I
second.
just said you must not go, and then you did.
And I did. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead, Jill.
Sorry. So at this point, I want you to read the opening narration, but just the first part, and then I'll give you the second part because I have something to say in between.
Yeah, there's some dialogue that interrupts the opening narration. I don't know. Are you gonna have us do that as well? But that's all
well,
right.
we don't have to read the dialogue. No.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll put the other part in there, but only read the first.
Alrighty.
Did
Maple
I put it in
Street.
yet? Yeah, I did.
Maple Street, USA, late summer. A tree-lined little world of front porch gliders, barbecues, the laughter of children, and the bell of an ice cream vendor. At the sound of the roar and a flash of light, it'll be precisely 6:43 p.m. on Maple Street.
And all that there is in between is some dialogue about that roar because everybody sees what they think is a meteor. Everyone is sure it's a meteor. And
Yeah,
that is mostly
I think that's the thing that you have to get over in the first 4 seconds of this show is, no, it's a meteor. That's fine. And it's like, what? 6:43 in the PM on a Saturday and you're seeing meteors and you're like, oh, okay. Like that would be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
well, yes, we would
Yeah,
be in an uproar.
Yeah, for Scotty, it's a little too subdued, but they're like, "What was that?" "Oh, I think it was a meteor." "Oh, oh, that's really weird." But it's like, well, from the sound of it sure sounded like a flying saucer to me.
Yeah, to me too. So the ending is telegraphed right at the beginning here.
Yeah.
If you're a sci-fi fan, you're listening to this, you're like, those are aliens.
Yeah, that sounds like a ship.
And so, but I have it on the still for a very important reason because we have been ignoring an important background actor who shows up on this show 32 times. His name is Robert McCord, and he's the ice cream vendor here. He recurs 32 times total. And the ones we've seen so far are Mr. Denton on Doomsday. He was a stagecoach driver. And then he was a man in the subway in Escape Clause. And in Judgment Night, he was a sailor in a ski cap.
Oh, wow.
And in the Purple Testament, he was a man walking in the lobby.
Well, Jill, where did you find that?
I was trying to look up the people, the cast who are in this episode.
Oh, cool.
And I just stumbled upon, wait a minute, it says Twilight Zone 32 times. I saw the number 32.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you caught that. That's excellent.
I was hoping you were going to say Eddie Paskey.
Yeah, Eddie.
Well, that's what it feels like to me, Scotty. This is is this the Eddie Paskey of the Twilight Zone?
For Columbo, it's Mickey Golden. He was in one of those background players, But that's good. I'm glad you brought that up, Jill.
So sorry, Jill. What's his name again?
His name is Robert McCord.
Okay. Robert
McCord. Is it Kent McCord's father? No.
I don't know.
I just kept thinking, I thought it was the guy who played General Cord in Star Trek V. But then I realized that the character names and real people names are not the same.
Yes.
He is actually a Klingon. Yes, you found him out.
Uh-oh.
He's the actual alien. Actually,
dear.
Okay, so please read part 2 so we can talk about this episode.
This is Maple Street on a late Saturday afternoon. Maple Street, in the last calm and reflective moment before the monsters came. Jill, monsters.
Came.
Monsters from the id. I mean,
They're due.
they're due. And
They're
the
due.
thing is, well, the lesson learned from never listen to the sci-fi nerdy kid. It'll just make everybody paranoid.
Exactly. He's the antagonist in this
It's
episode. That
like Jack
darn
Jack Weston's character in the loud shirt. It's the kid, I tell you, it's the kid.
yeah, that darn Tommy. I love the opening narration because the opening narrations usually tell you who the character is. And so we know the main
Yeah.
character in this episode is
Maple Street.
Maple Street. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was watching this, my younger sister, when the dramatic pause before the monsters came, my little sister kind of giggled nervously. it's like, uh-oh.
Well, the first disturbing thing that happens, usually they're like, "Oh, okay, it's a meteor. Who cares?" But now their electricity isn't working. Their telephones aren't working. Their cars aren't working. Nothing's working. That uses power.
Yeah.
Even
And
the radio. That's
yeah,
weird.
radios, even the battery operated radios, from what
Yeah.
I gathered.
They
And
do say the portables.
yeah, the portable. Yeah, right, Scotty, the portable. And that's one thing my father always had. He had his radio, portable radio with always with fresh batteries, because you never know when you're going to need a radio in an emergency.
Exactly. And they theorize, oh, could it be a storm? But wait a minute, it's a clear sky. Can't be a storm. But
No,
one of the neighbors.
It's that darn meteor, Jill.
Yeah. Well, one of the neighbors, Pete Van Horn. Yeah, that's what they say. It is.
Pete Van Horn.
They say it's a meteor. He says.
Were you gonna throw the slides up?
The slides, yes.
I want to hear about this narration, or see about this narration.
Why is it? Why? No, I did have the slides up, but they're not
I didn't
working.
do nothing. I tell you.
Uh-oh.
It's not your fault. Okay.
There they are.
Well, there's Claude Akins.
Who is Claude Akins?
Oh gosh, he's an actor. It goes way back. In fact, what's ironic is just the year before or so, a film released in '58 called The Defiant Ones. He's kind of the leader of a mob that wants to take out Sidney Poitier's character and
so the Defiant Ones. That's great.
The Defiant Ones.
We don't need an IMDb, but like he does have sort of he reminds me of a cross between Andy Griffith and Charles Bronson.
Or Simon Oakland.
I don't know who Simon Oakland is.
Yeah. But well, are you familiar with Kolchak, the Night Stalker?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Okay.
But I know people go nuts for it.
Yeah, Simon Oakland played Kolchak's boss. He was the editor of the paper, and you'll recognize he's just one of those guys, just like Claude Akins. But Claude Akins, he's in a lot of westerns, just a lot of television, but the only movie I can think of right off the bat is the Defiant Ones with
that's a good one.
Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis. I couldn't think of Tony Curtis's name for a minute.
Tony Curtis, right?
Yeah, but yeah, he's the leader of a mob in that particular scene in that movie. So I find it ironic that he's more of the voice of reason here.
Yes,
but he's good.
He's great.
And then speaking of the Night Stalker, Barry Atwater, the neighbor that's first suspected.
Wait.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Go ahead. If you want.
You won't let me do my trivia.
You can do your trivia. You can do it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, wait for the slide, Brian.
Yeah, it would be nice to see the actor that we're talking about. But Jedi Master asks me a question. Have you ever done It's Good Life?
That's that'll be second season, I believe.
Oh, that's a Twilight Zone episode. No, not yet.
It's a Good Life.
Yeah, we'll check it out. I've
Oh,
heard that
Sheriff
name.
Lobo. Sig Voluson's correct. The series, Sheriff Lobo. That's right.
Oh, thank
Nice.
you so much. Great information, Sigvaldson, and thank you. You didn't have to send a super chat for that, but thank you so
Yeah,
much for doing so.
yeah. That's for the younger set. That's the most his most popular role because that's a series. Yeah, from around the time of Dukes of Hazzard and Rockford Files and all that.
Except
Oh, what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I Scotty chose a video for me, and I didn't allow it to play.
Uh-oh.
except what is happening between us.
That's pretty steamy stuff there.
It is. Oh, yeah, that's why those are the super chat videos. This one also came up for me.
All right.
Chocolate is a serious thing.
Is it, Jill? Is it really?
It is. It's a serious thing.
I'm gonna
I
grab
always
some
need
chocolate. I'll be back in a second.
right? But there you go. Thank you so much, Sigvaldson, for the $5. And so, like I was saying before, Pete Van Horn with his little hammer is off to go see if the street over Floral Street is having the same issues.
Now, notice the director highlights the hammer on his coveralls.
He does. He
He
zooms
just
in on
he
it.
highlights it, and it's just the hammer, and it's like, okay, that's interesting because that's one thing I remember about this episode. When we later on we get to it, it's
I
like
think,
it's
yeah, it's
basically
just
the director saying, okay, remember this because this is going to pop
remember
up
this
later, you know. And I'm like,
because
okay,
this is how it's going to be dark. So this is how you identify this same man is
right,
his little hammer.
that's right.
And so he's doing something that's rather intelligent. Is Florist Street having the same power issue?
But
But
Jill, why does it take him so long to get back?
because he has to walk, his car doesn't work. But
Yeah, but
right, it's just the street over. It
yeah.
shouldn't take so long. Or maybe he was just like, "Oh, y'all's power is on here. Let's party." And they have like a party, and then
Yeah. Okay,
that's
Jill. Jill solved the problem. He was enjoying a party. Oh, there's that sci-fi kid.
yeah. There's that sci-fi kid. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I read this story
nothing but
by
trouble.
Ray Bradbury and no.
That's exactly what happened. Oh, Jedi Master would love to join that discussion. Okay, 4. Oh,
It's a
oh
good life.
right. Okay. It's a good life. Yeah. When we get there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anthony
Jedi Master.
he makes good television in my humble opinion but we'll get to there. We'll get there when we get there.
Daniel's Hot Topic says this is awesome. I love those. Okay. Yeah. And Sigvaldison says I watched those trucker shows in the late 70s.
Oh yeah. Yeah. BJ and the Bear, I bet was his favorite.
And so Steve wants to go downtown to figure out what's going on. The power's out. This happens a lot in neighborhoods. If you live in a suburb, if the power goes out, everybody's like, "What's going on? The power's out," and everybody walks outside.
Yeah.
Like, your power's out too.
Yeah,
We're all out.
yeah, that brings back memories from my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Is your power out too? Oh, good golly! What do we?
Whatever
But
will we do? I cannot live without my central air conditioning.
well, the thing is, at that time we did not have central air. It's like, how did we survive without it? I don't know.
Lots of open windows.
Yeah, we had a small window air conditioner eventually, but yeah, that's it was never a meteor, Jill.
It was never a meteor. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. They theorized that there's an EMP, like essentially an EMP disturbance because of the meteor.
Yeah. But of course, this kid's like, oh, don't go. It's like, how about we all go? Oh, we all go together in a big group.
Yeah. Well, this kid, Tommy, tells them that they shouldn't go because the aliens don't want them to.
It's kind of like, and then a couple of the guys could be, hey, let me get my shotgun. We'll walk downtown. We'll have a little protection as well. And all these things they could have done, but
Yeah,
Rod Serling just didn't allow it.
if they could have just done anything.
Yeah.
The only person doing anything is Pete, and he's like having a margarita or something. I have no idea what's going on with Pete.
He's just chilling, man.
But they don't they don't want he Tommy assumes that the aliens don't want Steve and Charlie to go. But how does this kid know any of this? He
It's
says,
Yeah, it's because he's an alien, Jill. No.
"Oh, I know that is the that's a theory. That's a theory anyway." And one of the ladies says, "Now isn't that the craziest thing you ever heard?" And Tommy says, "It's always that way in every story I ever read about a ship landing from outer
Yeah.
space."
Yeah, doesn't one of the ladies say you're reading too many comic books, that kind of thing?
Yeah, he's been reading too many comic books
Yeah,
or
that's what
seeing
I
too many
say.
movies.
Too many movies and too many creepy TV shows, like the
Tommy,
one
come
we're
over
in.
here.
Oh, no, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly, like the one we're watching. We're the ones watching too many TVs and movies.
Yeah. I'm
Tommy,
getting
come over here and stop that kind of talk.
or you're
The
gonna get
dialogue's kind of funny.
a spanking, Tommy. You
You
cut
need
that
to lay down
non
for a nap.
Yeah. Here, have some
So,
lemonade. Shut up, kid. No.
all the adults pretend that they're not taking Tommy seriously. Um, and everyone is focused on the idea that it's a meteor, that a meteor can have similar effects to a solar flare, which is actually backed up. I guess it could, but and and they're trying to brush off the things the kid is saying. And the kid even knows the aliens are going to take on human form. Like, like in Third Rock from the Sun, the 90s sitcom.
See,
He's had,
I was thinking that this is very much more like the little boy in Back to the Future who says old man Peabody that the DeLorean is a spaceship.
Yeah.
I read it
And
in my comics.
and of course on the cover of his comic book it looks very similar.
But I think Steve and Charlie should have kept on trucking instead of listening to.
Yeah, I agree.
yes, me too.
In fact, a few of the other men should have tagged along and make sure everybody gets back okay.
Yeah, that was a good idea from Stone
Yeah.
Racket. That they should have gotten
I
together to do that.
I mean, that's what my dad would have done. No.
Now, did you talk about Charlie already?
I have not. Hold on, just a second.
Yeah. I can hear your
I-
Tamagotchi going off.
We're not. Yeah, it is a Tamagotchi. Give me a second.
Yeah, all right.
It's one of the male adults says it's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. The kid tells a comic book plot, and we stand here listening. And Tommy
Yes.
has way too many details. When he gets down to saying the aliens dress in human skin, and they have a nuclear family, a mother, a father, and children. And Steve concludes that they should figure out who is really human, but he's actually just joking and humoring Tommy.
Is it hungry? Did it have a baby? We're not sponsored, by the way, but no, we have an aficionado on the panel. And obviously, when nature calls, or I guess technology calls, we got to take care of that little thing. Yeah, no, DJ Knight, this is not a joke. We are not playing around. This is Jill playing with her virtual pet. Again, not sponsored. Anyway, now, do you think that this episode is universal in nature when it comes about neighbor versus neighbor? Stone Record.
Well, you want to think that you wouldn't behave the way people do in this
but
episode.
this
You
episode
want to
is
have more faith in humanity than this does.
this
Yeah.
episode this episode is one of the most famous and the one that is most taught in schools.
Mhm.
And in fact, of the day, they got a lot of requests from schools and universities for scripts and a copy of the episode on 16 millimeter so that it could be taught because they thought it you know, in discussing prejudice and kind of mob mentality, that kind of thing, it was very important. And in my 7th grade class, we read from a Scholastic magazine that had that had the script in the back, and so we did this as a reading exercise in class. All the kids.
You went to the coolest school.
Yeah, it's
I
Mrs.
never-
Connell. Mrs. Connell's 7th grade English class. We did Star Trek. We did Journey to Babel,
Yeah.
and we did this episode of Twilight Zone. And there's Barry Atwater.
Yes, now you can talk about Barry Atwater. Les is trying and failing to start his car.
Yeah.
And then when he leaves the car, it starts working again. But it starts.
And he's immediately suspected. But he played the vampire in the pilot film or the original telefilm called The Night Stalker, and so he was the Night Stalker, which is Janos Scorzini. And then Barry Atwater also is in a famous episode of The Outer Limits called Corpus Earthling, which is about invading aliens that are disguised as rocks.
Yes.
I just wanted to quick shout out to Penny, who finally made it in to the DMV.
Yay!
Trying to do that since last Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then also, good morning, Ben Frail.
Oh,
Good
yes.
morning.
Good morning, Ben Frail. Thank you for catching Ben Frail walking through the door. Thank you, Scotty. And hello to Ben. And also, is that what you had to say about Barry Atwater, Stone Rocket?
Yeah.
There's one more thing.
Oh no.
What do you have to add, Jill?
He's Barry Atwater playing Les Goodman, also plays Surak in season 3 Star Trek episode.
Oh, that's right. How could I forget that? Yeah.
I thought he looked a bit vulgar.
Yeah. Jill is so correct. I'm so ashamed, Jill. I forgot to mention that. Of course he played that character. And he played it very well too.
He did. And
he made a very good Vulcan.
He is. And one of the most important Vulcans from
Yes. He's the
Spock's
one
memory.
that started the whole logic that whole...
I have a clip.
Oh, yes, please.
I play it every day.
Yes, you do.
See, I didn't drop my slides. For some reason, they were dropped for me. StreamYard,
I didn't do it.
You're acting funky. Please stop acting funky, StreamYard.
Yeah, StreamYard and...
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Yes, indeed.
He must
That's
be
him.
Prosthetic.
That's him in color and with pointed ears. And now he is with human ears and black and white.
Yes. I was excited when I saw that.
Yeah.
So.
See, I only gravitated towards one man during this episode, aside from Charles Bronson, Andy Griffith.
Cloud Aikens.
No, it was Charlie.
Yeah.
No, Jack Weston
Charlie.
is Charlie.
Yeah, Jack
at you,
Weston was
Charlie.
the guy that I dug.
Yeah, he's the one with the loud shirt.
Yes.
And he's the one that accused it. It's the kid, I tell you. It's
Yeah. Let's murder the child. No. No, Charlie.
No, Charlie, no. Well, he
no, but
does.
that guy. Well,
Yeah,
and
go
I'll speak of him when I see Chuck.
I know I'm chuckling at it, but they were serious.
Yeah.
This dude, Charlie is serious about going after Tommy. That's
Yeah.
pretty messed up.
Yeah, he is messed up.
There is
So-
manslaughter that happens in this.
So even though they were all making fun of Tommy, now all of a sudden they're starting to wonder and suspect that maybe Les's family are aliens, and so they're buying into Tommy's implanted paranoia that he antagonized them into believing. You can tell.
Charlie.
This is Charlie. This is Charlie.
This
yeah.
is Charlie.
Yeah.
And I was like, where do I know this guy from? And the answer is everything. He's been in
Yeah.
a million things.
Yeah.
But I was like, which one am I remembering? And I was like, is it the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3? And I was like, maybe. Oh, wait. It was the Thomas Crown affair. He plays the one crook on Thomas Crown's crime team that is a little too brash with his spending of his winnings. And he gets caught and works with the police and everything like that. It's so good. But yeah, no, I was just like, oh man, he went on to do great things.
He's also in Wait Until Dark, the Audrey Hepburn film thriller where she's a blind woman.
With Alan Arkin.
With Alan Arkin as the main villain, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got Richard Crenna and Jack Weston as the kind of shifty guys.
Yeah, but he's such good. He's like
he's a good smarmy guy.
He reminds me of Leo Getz in Lethal Weapon 2. Whenever he shows up, it's like he's Leo Getz. I love it.
Yeah. So and here he is.
Yeah, he's in he's in so many. He was in Man from U.N.C.L.E., Bewitched, Ben Casey, 12 O'Clock High.
Oh yeah.
Burke's
Lots
Law.
of westerns, I guess.
Yeah, and he's in The Incredible Mr. Limpet. The Don Knotts.
I'm not a big fan of Don Knotts. But no, like he is. He's literally in everything. He shows up throughout the 80s as well, because he basically, like, this is a picture of him at the age of 20, and he looked the exact same way until he was 40, at which point he started to look 50.
Yeah, he pops up in one of the 1 hour Twilight Zone episodes in the 4th season.
He's great. An unheralded character actor, but not specifically to the Twilight Zone, so he is not our Eddie Paskey for today.
No. I need to step away for a little bit. I'll be right back.
You got to put your cat in color. Anyway, so that was my Where's Waldo of actors for today.
Well, very cool. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, he did it. He did it. That, I guess that's a tradition now. So if I step away, I will become colorized too. Well done starting that. Greek letters and Scotty.
And Stone Racket. He third the motion.
Yay. So.
Oh, Ben Frail. See, and this is something I don't even think I have to reveal the twist. I don't know if I have to. If it's been played in schools, then I don't think I have to worry about spoilers. But Ben Frail in the chat says, this paranoid sci-fi anti-communist propaganda. No, that's what it is. It's paranoid anti-communist propaganda, but also I think it applies to race relations. I'm gonna say that this occurs in, this is what happens when Star Wars fans get together and they start saying it's George Lucas. No, it's Kathleen Kennedy. It's like, it doesn't matter. The ferocity of your argument and assertions is more important than the rational discussion of the situation. I love
no
this.
No matter how rational they try to get in this episode, that mob mentality takes over, and I don't.
Yeah. It's insane, though. It's great, especially for the era.
That happens.
It parallels. It not only does it parallel anti-communist, but again, I think that it does it with an all-white cast. But I think that there is a certain level of who do we look at? And it's like, oh, it's that one. It's that one.
Yeah, I think they're starting to judge people based on things that don't matter.
Yeah. Oh, he gets up in the middle of the night and he looks at the sky. What's that about?
Yeah. See, we're yeah. So I'm letting the episode run away with me now.
Yep.
Lessons. Okay, so where were we? We were where Les was trying to start his car, started on his own, and now he's the first object of our, because it jumps around. We're starting with blaming Les. and Steve is there as the voice of reason, saying, don't act like a mob. You're acting like a mob. Let's not do that. And that's just as mysteriously as the car as the car started, it shuts down. And they're all suspicious because his car is the only thing that's working on the entire street. And Les says, wait a minute now. Just keep your distance, all of you. Okay, so I've got a car that starts by itself. Well, it's a freak thing. I admit it. What's it make me? A criminal or something? I don't know why it starts. It just does. And my favorite part about this is the honesty of Steve, who straight up tells Les the fears that everybody is having. He puts all of the paranoia into perspective. That that everybody is thinking he's a monster. We're on a monster kick, Les. Seems the general impression now holds that maybe there's a family that isn't what we think they are, monsters from outer space or something different than us. And so Les thinks he's joking, but then the car starts up again, and a lady says she sees Les looking up at the sky in the morning, like you said. And he says he does that because he has insomnia. That's his reason. And now people are having to justify their actions that are completely innocent. And they're over analyzing the situation. And as he's approaching his neighbors, who normally were his friends, potentially, they all start to back off. They're afraid of him. You're scared, frightened rabbits, you're sick people. And so he has a bit of a rant. Do you want to do the rant?
Oh, I'd love to.
Scotty? Okay, here
I'd
it is.
love to. All right, let's see. This is a dramatic reading. This is not how I feel about anybody, if there are any disclosures. And also, we are not sponsored by Les. You scared, frightened rabbits, you. You're sick people. Do you know that? You're sick people, all of you. And you don't even know what you're starting here, because let me tell you, you're starting something here that's worse than you should be frightened of. As God is my witness, you're letting something begin here that's a nightmare. That was a little much.
It was a little much, but I liked it.
Thank you.
The hysteria, this mob mentality is so dangerous. And whether it's in my favorite episode of Star Trek. We saw
Which
it
one?
when with the killing of the Horta babies in Devil in the Dark.
That's going to be the name of my second album, Killing of the Horta Babies.
And we saw it during the pandemic a couple of years ago. People were clearing out grocery stores, clearing out toilet paper, being the biggest target. But I know, even spicy spam, I couldn't find it anywhere. But
sorry, spicy spam?
Yeah, there's a brand of spam that's spicy in particular.
That makes
and
sense. So it's not just a clever
disappeared.
name.
It disappeared for a couple of years before I ever saw it again. And
What, people who spam can't afford pepper?
No, well, it's not just pepper.
What I'll tell you is that
it's the only kind of spam I like.
A can of pepper. What if we put the pepper in the spam and then we just sell it to you? Huh?
It's the same price. It's the same price. So it's not like they're charging extra for it.
Sure.
But anyway, I don't want to tangent on my favorite end of the world consumables. But I don't really want to believe this is how people treat each other. But these examples show that it's probably true.
You know what's wrong? It's probably Alex Kurtzman. You get him. See?
No, I don't.
All right.
I see what you're getting at. I
Yeah.
see what you're getting at, but the reverse happens too.
Totes.
You also have people who are, who love the Alex Kurtzman and the Kathleen Kennedy, who say, all the rest of the people, oh, if they don't like this, they're racist or sexist or whatever. They must be
Well,
bad people. So the mob, the collectivism happens on either occasion,
I was
and so it is beholden to the person consuming the media to
for
have
sure.
their own independent thoughts.
And again, I'm using creators, but I could do the same thing and say Lon Green. No. Edward James Olmos. Like, I'm just saying, you get enough people together who are passionate about protecting something. They're all passionate about protecting Maple Street.
And Stone Racket was mentioning Dr. Seuss earlier. There's an entire book about it. It's a sort of a Cold War analogy book for children called The Butter Battle Book. And these two sides, they're identical people. They live on either side of a tiny wall, and the only difference between them is one side butters their bread butter side up, and the other side butters their bread butter side down. And they are sure the other side, both sides are absolutely wrong, and so they're not friends with each other because of that. And
Exactly.
and then they start a war, a bit of that starts very, because they have the wall, so they got to protect the wall, and it's an arms war. So you go from a slingshot to a little dog that has a cannon on his back, all the way up to this little ball, and this little ball is the analogy for an atomic weapon, and it ends on a cliffhanger. It's the same kind of idea, and it's an interesting one, and one you wish wasn't a thing that people do, but somehow it happens.
When I saw the egg reference from Ben Fralin, I'm just like, scrambled eggs, fried eggs. And then there's a third faction that obviously wants them boiled. And then the weirdos who want them poached. And then all of a sudden the entire street just fighting it with each other about what to do for breakfast.
I like, yeah. Yeah, right. There's just so many. Yeah, I had that problem recently. Anyway, they kept making them scrambled eggs, but then I was thinking in my head, I can't complain. They're making me breakfast. I'm happy. I have food.
Scrambled eggs. That's the safest way to eat your eggs.
Okay.
I like oatmeal.
There he is, Jill.
I like life
There
on
he
the
is.
dangerous side.
Let's get him. He's a scrambled egg lover. I knew it.
Anyway, this accidentally became a review for Dr. Seuss, the Butter Battle book, but I think I explained it quickly.
Yes, and which side do you butter your toast, Jill?
No,
butter side up, because
I just butter the crust.
Oh, I pour my cinnamon sugar on top.
Oh, this means war. No.
Yeah. Yeah. There she is. There she is, Stone Racket.
Jill's an alien. No.
Cinnamon on toast.
Anyway,
I like my cinnamon toast crunchy.
Yeah, cinnamon toast is delicious, Jill, to tell you the truth.
Unsubscribing, says Ben Frail.
Oh my goodness.
You lose, sir. You get nothing.
Yeah, no. Also, he's right here. Racial fear, anti-red fear were essentially the same beer. Oh, well,
yeah.
And they could be related, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's definitely related to this episode. And everybody's going to want to throw all of their political causes and everything that this episode makes you think of, which is why it is something that we could just go off on mini tangents.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, wait. Can I do the last one? Can I do the last tangent? Okay. There are two things that I don't like. People who are insensitive of other nations and cultures, and the Dutch.
Thank you.
That's irony.
There's a fight on Maple Street.
Yes.
I like
and look how Charlie's drinking his Coke. I don't like the way he's eyeing his neighbors.
See, and I'm questioning in regards to the production and the storytelling. Yeah, Jill, that was my question, because they do specifically show Les. He's drinking a glass of milk, and Charlie is huffing off on a bottle. And I was like, well, it doesn't It doesn't look like beer, but also then again, it doesn't look like Coke either. Like I don't, it could be a soft drink that would seem
Yeah, it
more
could.
wholesome for
Yeah,
1960. But also, if you look at it through the prism of 2025, it's like, oh yeah, he's having a beer while he's staring at the guy who's drinking milk.
yeah. DJ
That would
Knight.
make sense, but
DJ Knight.
it's not revealed in the episode.
DJ
No,
Knight
but it's
says.
interesting.
DJ Knight says, "Housewife, poor kids. They need to play outside instead of watching TV." That's right.
Well, but that sort of feeds into what
Or reading
Charlie's
them
saying.
comic books.
Because he's looking around and he says, well, look up and down this street, nothing but candles. It's like going back to the dark ages. Charlie
Yeah.
wants to go back inside and watch TV or listen to the
Yeah.
radio, whichever he prefers.
Thought he was vaping. Not quite.
Yes. Yes, he was.
Ben Frail likes Charlie's shirt.
I do
There-
not like Charlie's shirt. So therefore, we need to go to war. No.
Well, no, exactly. The guy with the loudest shirt has to go down first. But no, I think that Charlie's shirt, when I was looking at some of the patterns, I swore I saw like a nuclear smokestack, like, those giant, like from The Simpsons, the giant nuclear smokestacks.
Or
Right?
just
Where?
they're just factory stacks.
Where
Yeah.
did you see that?
It was on the back of his shirt and it was way earlier, but I thought I saw something and I was like, I gotta pay attention. Like, look, it looks like the road to the future on his right breast. Kind of.
Do you ever want to submit slides, like if you see something that you think I might not see, you can always
Thank you.
send it to me.
It was a fleeting thought as I saw it dance across my television.
But Les's wife thinks it's kind of rude that you're just sitting here staring. At least somebody's
Well, it is.
thinking that. It
Yeah.
is. They're just, it makes no sense that Les has to defend the fact that he's looking at stars. It's one of my favorite things to do. I am not an alien.
No,
Yeah.
but I think it has something to do with your car started by itself right after all of this happened, which I think when it happens to Les, while ridiculous to blame him as being the orchestrator of all of the power outages, I think it is interesting that it's like, well, how come your stuff works? That's an interesting way to have the community sort of, it becomes a have and have not situation. And then he's like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know.
A bit
how
of
it
jealousy
happened.
also.
Yeah, a little bit.
But also fear, because and then they're coming up with irrational reasons to accuse others and oh, you look at the stars, therefore you must be an alien. And that's the
If you're
that's
looking
not true.
towards the skies, then maybe you're looking.
You must
for
be
your
charting
people.
the way home.
Something like that. E.T. Phone home.
Well, right. That's
I
Steve. He's
I
building
looked
his
up at
ham
the-
radio.
I looked up at the stars quite a bit when I was a wee lad. I wanted to go to outer space. Oh no, I must be an alien. No.
Yeah, well, that's what this episode's saying. Like, if you believe their paranoia, that's the conclusion you have to draw.
Yeah.
Is that everybody's a potential threat.
Yeah.
Well, and with the amount of characters and the cinematography and everyone that has to be involved, this is a really great performative episode. Like, it is directed really, really well.
Really well, yeah.
Mhm.
And the director is new to the series.
Well, he looks like it cost a couple of $100.
Well, and they go from
The,
Steve is now
I-
seen as a potential troublemaker.
I have the total production cost if anyone wants to hear.
What's the production cost here?
The total production cost for this episode is $56,888.77.
My stars.
My stars.
It is the most expensive television episode in history up until that time. I have no facts to back this up.
Yeah, Ronald Winston directed it, and yeah, it's
Doesn't he give you a little bit of a Charles Bronson vibe?
not really, more of a
right.
Simon Oakland, but yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure for you. You can yeah. He has such an interesting face, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, he looks like a palooka, but he looks like a guy who, like, he's got a soft smile, but he looks like he could kick your butt.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess he did.
Oh.
I guess he did murder a bunch of people at the end of the episode when everyone went all crazy and hogwash.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. But Stone Racket needs
spoilers.
to read. Stone Racket needs to read the. He needs to read this dialogue. I like the dialogue. The dialogue is crazy in this episode.
Oh, for
This one's a
Steve?
good one. This
For
one,
Steve?
Steve. This is not a crazy piece of dialogue. This is a well-grounded piece of dialogue, and nope, this is somebody saying, "Look, we're not acting right." Go ahead.
All right. Go ahead. What's my wife said? Let's get it all out. Let's pick out every idiosyncrasy of every man, woman, and child on this whole street. And then we might as well set up some kind of kangaroo court. Now, how about a firing squad at dawn, Charlie, to get rid of all the suspects? Narrow them down for you. Make it easier, huh? Right, Don?
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then they get into that argument together about that. And then now now that Steve's done this, he's a target now. And they're
he's got a
talking
ham
about
radio.
how well, he's got a ham radio. He's been building a radio in his basement. And Marla's like, "No, I bought him that book myself. It's just a little hobby."
So why is she talking about it as though it's something I just
I
don't
think
get. It's like if she bought the kit for him, then what the heck's the problem?
well, I think she might have just mentioned it offhandedly before.
And then
And then
somebody
another neighbor
took
is like,
it too far. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. Yeah,
that's what happened.
yeah.
And so
It just came off as a little strange, but that's
and
yeah.
then Les is like, "All right, now I get to relax and drink my milk because they're after Steve now." And Steve says, "How come you're so dense all of a sudden? Who do I talk to? I talk to monsters from outer space.
Space,
I
of
talk
course.
to I talk to three-headed green men who fly over here in what look like meteors." So he's jumping straight into the absurd nature of the everybody's fears.
Yeah.
And Marla tries to defend her husband, but then she says, "Come and look at it." But wait a minute, you don't invite a mob into your house, Marla. What are you thinking?
Well, right.
But then we see the hammer again. Oh, but before we say anything, okay, so now I want Scotty to be Steve.
Oh, okay.
Before we deal with the hammer. And here's the next one.
Pardon me. Hang on just 1 second. I'm going to clear my throat. All right. I think I'm ready. And stop telling me who's dangerous and who isn't, and what's safe and who's a menace. And you with him, too, all of you. You're all standing out here, all set to crucify somebody. You're all set to find a scapegoat. You're all desperate to point at some kind of a finger at a neighbor. Well, believe me, friends, the only thing that's going to happen is that we're going to eat each other up alive.
And
I could have been a little softer at the end, but I thought that was...
Well, he's basically predicting everything that happens, that follows.
But I think that the way that Steve says it in the actual broadcast, it's almost like it is an empathetic, it's like a plead.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I thought
he's trying to get everyone to relax, but he can't do it.
You know what's going to happen if you keep pointing fingers? Well, I'm pointing a finger at you, telling you what you're going to do. And it's like, all right, Steve. Yeah, no, I get what you're going for, but these people are not in a receptive mood.
They're not. They can't listen to reason.
No.
And because of that, and there's also, they're carrying the rifles around, and Charlie shoots
escalated
Pete.
Quickly.
Yeah. He doesn't know he's shooting Pete. He thinks, well, and that kid, Tommy, is making trouble again. He says, "Look, it's the monster."
Yeah.
And that doesn't help.
that complicates things.
That pesky kid. Yeah, he sure complicated things.
But but Tommy didn't shoot the gun. Charlie did.
Yeah.
And Pete.
But
I don't know.
again, this is one of those things where it's the morally superior individual. Everyone has decided that it's okay. Let's go with Charlie. He starts pointing at people. That's when we start thinking that they're suspect. And then he finally takes action, violent, deadly action, and everyone recoils away from him. And it's like, how could you kill? How? And it's like, and he was the one who was advocating for it in the first place. He was the one who took the gun. Steve said, I don't think that this is necessary. Charlie takes it and says, well, if you're not going to protect this street, I will. And then he does it. And he kills someone who's completely innocent, who didn't have the good sense to say, hello.
I just come back from a great
right.
party over yonder.
Yeah, that was my solution as to why Pete took so long, is that he's having margaritas. But why didn't Pete say something when he was walking up?
Because Jill, the aliens wouldn't let him talk. No.
I think it's because he was old and tired, and he had left approximately 4 hours previous to go over to the other block, and who knows what he found. Like, we'll never find out because Charlie had to kill him. But like, I just think he was tired because he was an older man.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to read this, but I have this dialogue in my notes.
What do you got?
Oh. Yeah. Okay, I see why. I guess I see why I did this.
All right.
There are several parts though.
There's a lot of stuff. We only have we have only 3 performers, so you got to narrow it down here.
Yeah.
I think you're okay. Well, hey, you know what? It's your production.
Well, okay, so
Scotty, who's who, Jill?
Charlie.
Okay.
You can be Charlie and Stone Racket can be the rest of the characters. I'll be Les Goodman.
The rest of the characters. Okay, so I'm Charlie. Stone Racket is primarily Steve and Dawn.
Steve, Dawn, and Man.
And Man.
Man. All right, so I'm Charlie. After inadvertently shooting who turned out to be a neighbor and presumed to be the invader. No, it's nothing of the sort. It isn't me, I swear. It isn't. Somebody's pulling a gag or something.
A gag? A gag? Charlie, there's a man lying dead in the street and you killed him. Does that look like a gag to you?
Look, I swear it wasn't me. I swear it wasn't. But I know who it is. I know who the monster is. I know who it is that doesn't belong among us. I swear I know who it is.
All right, Charlie, let's hear it.
It's...
Well, what are you waiting for?
Come on, Charlie, come on. Who is it, Charlie? Tell us.
It's the kid. It's Tommy. He's the one.
And that is... I see why I highlighted that dialogue, because this is the part that you mentioned earlier where Charlie uses the kid as a scapegoat.
Exactly. It's the kid, I tell you.
Yeah. And oh man, yeah, a human using Tommy as a shield of some sort, just like attacking this kid. And now the mob's ready to turn. At first, they were, not the only suspecting other adults, but now they're turning it on the children. And I understand why Tommy, because he's the one who made everyone paranoid to begin with.
With that loud shirt.
But if your mob is so far gone that it's prepared to attack a child, oh man, and they don't see that it's wrong.
Yeah,
how terrible they're being. They don't see it.
there's no turning back now.
Yeah, and that's why this is the moment everything goes berserk.
Yeah.
Well, people start picking up
And
bricks, throwing things. Crazy.
throwing rocks, throwing bricks, hitting a light fixture, and Charlie starts bleeding.
Mowing their lawn. Oh,
What
no,
did they do
sorry.
with the lawnmower?
No, the lawnmower just starts
No,
up
you
on its
know,
own.
Oh,
that's
that
what
makes
I
sense.
thought. I thought I was waiting for the lawnmower to start veering across the yard. That's what I wanted to happen.
No,
Turns
that's a
into
different episode, Jill.
Maximum
Oh.
Overdrive.
Maximum.
And now more lights are turning on and off, and events they're just escalating, and people are in it. It's a what is it? What do they call
A
it when it
riot?
happens? A riot. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a riot. Like when the Lakers lose or something, and they're having a riot. I'm
No, that was a good analogy. I'm just surprised that was your go-to. That's all.
that came to me out of nowhere.
Yep, there you go. It's like a flashcard.
Mhm. And
Those
yeah,
were
so
obviously placed there by Antifa.
yeah, and people are grabbing weapons, and oh, there's even a gunshot fired. So
Yeah.
who was killed? People must have been killed.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it in Return of the Archons when they have like what is it? It's not Carousel. That's from
It's
Lucasfilm.
Red Hour.
Red Hour. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really creepy. It's 12 hours of just complete chaos because they've been so restricted all year. And then that's their release. And then everybody goes, after 12 hours, everybody goes back to their kind
Sleeps
of,
it off.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, yeah,
they can
that's
be
such a,
controlled
yeah,
again.
that really struck me as a child watching that episode. I thought it was just so eerie. And Kirk's sitting
Festival.
there, he's up in the upper window and he's just observing all that, and it's just creepy.
Well, yeah, no, but
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Oh, here we go with
Yeah, good callback, Scotty.
this
That is
is
good episode to bring up.
this is
Gary and Charles, not Charles, Gary
this
and
is
Sparkle.
this is where I came in on the when we were reading the play in 7th grade. I was the main alien.
Oh,
Speaking of
DJ
which,
Play
I
Nice has
have
got a
this.
roll.
I have this dialogue too. Oh, thank you so much for spending time with us today, DJ Play Nice. I hope you have an awesome afternoon too. Y'all be safe, have fun, take care of your crew, and rock.
Rock.
Matt.
Existence, survival must cancel out programming.
Yeah.
That was the equation. All right. I got that a little backwards, but rock from what our little girl's made of.
Mhm.
Scotty will be absorbed into the body. Oh no. Landrew.
Oh. You will
If
know
you play your cards
Scotty.
right, sure.
Sure.
All right. So I actually do have this dialogue too. Some
Oh,
episodes can be told just in the dialogue, and this is one
Yeah.
of them.
I
And
will
these are
be.
the aliens. You played one of these aliens.
Can I be Alien 1? Because that's what I played in 7th grade.
Okay, you're Alien 1, and Scotty can be Alien 2.
No, Jill's alien too.
Oh,
I'll be Alien 2.
okay. Understand the procedure now? Just stop a few of their machines and radios and telephones and lawnmowers, throw them into darkness for a few hours, and then sit back and watch the pattern.
And this pattern is always the same?
With few variations. They pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, and it's themselves. All we need to do is sit back and watch.
Then I take it this place, this Maple Street, is not unique.
By no means. Their world is full of maple streets, and we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves. One to the other. One to the other. One to the other.
Yes. And then they get in their
Yeah.
Forbidden Planet spaceship.
Yep, and it's upside down and flying in reverse, according to my book. It's also in reverse, but
It is upside down.
yeah, it's
In the
upside
Twilight
down. You're
record.
upside down. I have a viewer, a letter from a viewer concerning this episode.
Oh yes, please read it.
Okay, let me get there.
You're getting there. I'm copying in the closing narration for you, for Scotty to read.
I think so. Yeah. Should I go?
Yeah, go ahead, because Stone Racket's looking for his letter, so you can read the closing narration, please.
The tools of conquest do not necessarily come with bombs and explosions and fallout. There are weapons that are not, or pardon me, there are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitude, prejudices to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudice can kill, and suspicion can destroy, and the thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has a fallout all of its own. For the children and the children yet unborn, and the pity of it is that these things cannot be confined to the Twilight Zone.
Indeed.
Yeah, haunting.
Yeah, and to quote Pogo, Walt Kelly's comic strip creation, we have met the enemy, and it is us.
Yes.
The monsters due on Maple Street. Who's the monster?
It is us. It's the mob mentality. Of course, as Serling lists all the prejudices and suspicions and hatreds. And on March 5th, 1960, Earl Kemp of the Chicago Science Fiction League wrote to Serling as a, quote, unashamed fan letter, unquote. In the letter, Kemp regarded The Twilight Zone as a piece of rare magnificence, combining integrity and taste in the right proportions for relaxing enjoyment. You have always dealt completely honestly with the field of science fiction and fantasy, adding to the prestige of the genre rather than detracting from it. Of course, I do have complaints too. I'm pretty damn tired of seeing MGM's overworked Forbidden Planet saucer and the same astronomicals. I'm extremely tired of the odd angle and screwball shots that add not one single thing to the photography, but a desire that it should cease. Serling defended, and he wrote back, while I don't think the camera on it was exceptionally good, I cannot defend the MGM saucer. Unfortunately, with budget problems, you have to fall back on standard overworked devices too often.
Yeah, you have to use what you got, and
But
that's what they had.
as far as the photography, I take issue with that. I liked all the angles. I thought that was rather well done. I thought it was a really well directed episode. But it's interesting to note. My book also mentions that this episode was delayed. It was originally supposed to air earlier, but they had to do some pickup shots. So they added. They wanted to go back and rework a little bit, maybe add some inserts and whatnot. But the extra time they took was, just added to the excellence to this episode. It's one of the most
Agreed.
iconic. It's one of the most iconic of the Twilight Zone episodes, for sure.
It's
But,
definitely highly discussable, and some people have done so. So I'm gonna be right back. I need to step away for a bit. So
okay.
I'll need you guys to discuss something for a little while. I suppose maybe let's go back to that overarching topic. I think that Scotty wanted to talk about earlier, which it was. Well, these people have been friends. They've been neighbors for years. They even say Charlie's wife even says, "We're friends with Les and his wife. What are you doing?" And this alien. What do you think about this aliens? These aliens' idea of dividing and conquering one neighborhood at a time. And I'll be right back if that helps. I don't know.
Oh, I was hoping someone would bring this up, and I didn't find it for myself. Thank you, Greek letters. I understand that this is a paraphrasing of Quark. A single human is an ingenious, highly intelligent life form. Many humans together are dumber than an amoeba. Pretty amazing, eh? No, that's not the Quark quote. And it gets me mixed up as to whether or not it's Quark or Agent K from Men in Black. It's like, no, a person is smart. People are dumb, panicky animals, and you know it. That's K. But these humans is the Quark one. Take away their amenities, their sonic showers, their replicators, and they are as vile and violent as the most aggressive Klingon. Just look at them.
Yeah.
And again, paraphrasing. So I'm not doing really well there, but I think the intention of both quotes was conveyed. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think that this is absolutely sort of schoolroom curriculum. This makes sense because it generalizes the idea of turning on your neighbor for no good reason other than flickering lights.
Yeah, it's a quite powerful statement. And of course, Serling said that talking to sponsors and other people about the show, it's not going to be controversial, but this is the closest he came to controversy. But of course, as he said in there's the Serling documentary that comes with the Image Entertainment box set of the Twilight Zone, originally anyway. He says that all these subjects that he wanted to tackle on Playhouse 90 and the live dramas and he was censored and dissuaded against doing things, dealing, like, for instance, point blank with the Holocaust and prejudice in the Deep South against African Americans and the like. But he said, well, if I have Martians or outer space, aliens behind it all, then he could get away with more serious subjects and in a fantasy element or science fiction element. And that's what he does. That's what he does, with this episode especially.
But it makes the conversation, and I mean this not only in its sort of the makeup of the characters, it makes it very vanilla. It makes it very understandable just on the basis of human nature, as opposed to layering it or like pouring it on thick. Like, it is, what are the little things that can happen that makes a man turn upon a man for no other reason than fear or protection? Or like, I think that this is brilliant, but it would have been, and maybe it would have been heavy-handed, but like maybe more archetypes in the people who are on Maple Street. But then again, maybe it's the point that there are no archetypes and they're all basically variations on rationality that makes it a little bit more. It's the mundanity that turns to violence that makes it that much more unsettling.
Yeah, I think that's it right there. Yeah, I agree.
It's great. It's fantastic. I was not. And again, 2 episodes this week. There is a poll. Don't forget to check the poll. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah. And consider joining as well. Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
There's a Discord if you join. But both of these episodes, again, I've spoken about it before and said, oh, I wonder what the twist is. Why am I watching this half-hour episode to find out what's going to happen in the last 2 minutes? But both of these episodes are sort of like, it's not just O. Henry. There's a little bit more. There's tension. And maybe it's taken me a while to catch up. It only took 21 episodes. But it's like, Yeah, no, sometimes it's the atmosphere that's the thing.
Yeah, and that's it's to kind of think of. I know George Clayton Johnson kind of in the documentary on Serling that PBS did. Uh, he that's how he kind of reduces, well, lack of a better word, but reduces Twilight Zone. He just says there's kind of a twist at the end, and he talked about that, but not always.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, these two episodes back to back, great Serling stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite of the two, of course, is Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to
I
give
just I think it hits. I think
I should vote.
it's more hard hitting. Uh, but Mirror Image is good for an episode that's confined to such a kind of a just a small little set, a bus stop. The performances are all really good. Vera Miles and Martin Milner are very very good, and
Yes.
uh, it's not Mirror Image is not one of my favorites, but it's I'm not uh, I'm not dismissing it. I'm not saying it's a bad episode by any means.
No, not at all, not at all. And I like both episodes, but again, the first one is it's more of an EC Comics horror tale of whether it is just evil doppelgangers or the weight of a life not taken or pursued. That one's a little abstract, and it is a bit more. It's abstract and in your face. This one is allegorical, and it
Yeah,
makes you question ideas. And so the first one's more of a horror story. This one's more of a social satire, commentary satire.
yeah,
I love them both, but yeah, no, I'm gonna have to go with Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, the monsters are due on Maple Street. Sorry.
yeah. We can say the monsters are due on Elm Street.
Sure. I've got the body and you've got the brains. No, wait, strike that. Reverse it. No, but it's amazing. It's great. And again, I think that these episodes hold up. Like, I think that they're shot really, really rad.
Yeah,
Everything about them. Like, this is, if you, again, we're not sponsored by Rod Serling. He can't sponsor anybody right now. But yeah, if you haven't seen these things, check them out. 25 minutes, less than a podcast, and totes worth it. Jedi Master 2022 says, if we used all of our brains, just imagine what the world would be like. Oh, it would be, I don't know, man. I think we have to use them in tandem with our hearts because as a wise comedian once said, humanity's last words are going to be, oh my God, it worked. So who knows what would happen if we used our entire brains? And also, come on. I gotta know where this is.
We do use our whole brain, but different pieces at a time. We can't use it all at once. So we use it all, but not all
we
at once.
used to.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
much. There's so much we lost.
In the
No.
But
well, I think Stone Racket's referring to how people used to be able to read a book and then recite the entire book.
Well, I'm being more metaphysical and getting back to my Christian faith and the beginning. There's so much that we lost that we don't realize.
Stupid apples.
But yeah, it's but yeah, I like McCoy. Well, that's the second time man's been thrown out of paradise. It's like, no, Bones, we walked out on our own. Well, on this science fiction story, you did, but yeah, I guess I
like the Matrix when it says, we created the first Matrix as a virtual paradise for you, but your human brains wouldn't accept it. We didn't cast ourselves, or we didn't get cast out. We left. Banging drums, like Kirk said.
Well, that's out of the This Side of Paradise episode that they
Ooh.
walked out on their own. No, they at least with the help of Kirk and Spock and their little transmitting device, the itching powder.
Maybe we've grown beyond our need for laurel leaves.
No, that's not what he says.
I don't know. I'm just
It's
stringing together a tapestry of nothingness.
But he and I like what Spock says. Poetry, non-regulation, and of course that we haven't heard from you about Omicron Ceti 3, Mr. Spock. I have very little to say, Captain, except for the first time in my life, I was happy. Which superb ending of a great episode. I love that episode, even though it's kind of like, well, it's a romance episode for Spock, but what a brilliantly written episode by Dorothy Fontana.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Oh, but it's very meaningful, though. Even it's a touching scene. The scene between Jill Ireland.
Yeah, Jill Ireland as Lola. But of course, she was. Who was she married to at the time, Jill?
Chuck Bronson.
No, you're not Jill.
I'm not Chuck Bronson either.
Yeah, you're not Scotty.
No, I'm not. I stole his identity. I told you.
Stole his identity. You're the mirror image, Scotty. Oh no.
David McCallum.
Yeah, David McCallum was the first husband, but she had divorced and married Charles Bronson by the time she was making Star Trek.
Yes. Yeah. But Scotty was right during the production.
Yeah.
But I like David first.
Yeah, David McCallum and Charles Bronson were both in The Great Escape, and that's when Charles Bronson met David McCallum's wife, and that's where he stole her.
Well, wow, he stole her.
Yeah, basically. I mean, what else would you call it?
And that Charles Bronson was the husband during the episode because Spock was nervous about being nervous.
Yeah, it's like Charles Bronson. Hey, you're getting a little too friendly with my wife. How about a knuckle sandwich, Vulcan? No.
Can you imagine walking up to Charles Bronson and saying, like, you look like a shorter version of Andy Griffith?
I liked what I read in Time magazine. I think it was either Time or Newsweek, where they were discussing Charles Bronson and his career in the 70s. And they described Charles Bronson as Clark Gable left out in the sun too long.
Yeah.
Oh, Sid Valdison gives us the quote about the laurel leaves. Please read it, Scotty.
Would it have hurt us, I wonder, just to have gathered a few laurel leaves?
And I want to say hello to Real Wade Nation Clips. And the bot has posted your channel for you right here. It's I don't know if that's the one you want shared, but no, but the bot's working today.
All right.
The bot's lazy. Oh, there's no timers. You're right. I forgot to turn the timers back on. Yeah, I could do that now, even though it's a little late.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
There. I forgot about that. Here we go. That's my fault, not the bot's fault. Don't blame the bot.
Jedi Master.
I want to. Oh, go ahead. You go first.
I was gonna say Jedi Master 2022 says getting ready to watch the SpaceX Splashdown Crew 9 mission. And you know what I'd like to say about that? Why is SpaceX streaming over Jill?
Oh, wait, is that happening right now?
Apparently. We're waiting.
God.
We're waiting. Getting ready to watch the SpaceX Splashdown is what Jedi Master said. And I'm just saying they couldn't wait until we were done the stream.
What? I don't really know any employees at SpaceX. I can't be like, hey, I'm streaming right now. Get off.
I'll tweet Elon.
Yeah, I got to tweet Elon.
Elon, booster rockets.
That would be silly.
Make it so the splashdown takes another 15 minutes.
Yeah, Elon, we're live streaming here. We're live streaming.
It's absurdly silly to expect other people to make way for you like that.
Especially when there's hardware.
Yeah, especially when there's crew to save.
Yeah, that's
Apparently.
right.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I
We
don't
wish them
know.
the best.
Yes.
Happy landings.
Good
Indeed.
luck. I'm trying to look for the stream now that it was mentioned, but I can't really
Oh,
find it.
good. Way to go, Jedi Master. You made it even so the host wants to watch something else.
Well, I'm very interested in it, but I won't.
Yeah,
I
fair
won't
enough.
fuss. I won't fuss with it right now. But it's very. It's
Real
something
Late
I've been
Nation Gaming
following.
says in the chat, Scotty, did you get your She-Hulk? I got the DVD set. Apparently it's a bootleg, but I haven't received the action figure. I don't even know if it's going to happen because I don't know if they're making them anymore. I've been on a wait list for a while. I know other people have been on a wait list for a while who desperately want me to shut up about this particular trophy. But yeah, no, we don't know what's going on. Not yet.
He's doing
is
it
the answer.
live. He's not just watching it on YouTube or anything. He's witnessing it with his eyeballs. He
Yeah,
says
well,
I'm
I don't
right
know.
near Cape Canaveral.
No, that's not what it says. It says that he's right near Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
That may
That's
be a
what-
different Cape. What if he's waiting there by himself with popcorn and just being like, "Oh, I can't wait," but it's Cape Canaveral.
That's a slight misspelling.
It's the wrong Cape.
I don't think there is a Cape Canaveral.
Well, see, that's why it took me so long to get there. I kept trying to find it. It wasn't there. I kid.
Okay, so yeah, I know you're kidding. He is kidding. He's just kidding.
He's
Everybody
such a
makes mistakes.
kidder.
But it is live. You're right. Okay, I think what's going on? Live
Okay.
updates from Starlink Falcon 9 launch at Cape Canaveral. And so it's going to take
guess
flight
it's-
this afternoon just before 4 p.m. Well, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be picking up my children when this thing actually
In a
flies.
rocket?
In a
Yeah.
rocket? Yes. I'm going to pick up my children in a rocket. Yes.
No. Jill's going to pick up her kids in the Jupiter 2.
No, I'm going to pick them up in what's the name of the spaceship that's in every episode of Twilight Zone?
Oh, the C-57D space cruiser from Forbidden
Thank
Planet.
you.
If she picks up the
That's
kids in the
one.
Jupiter too, well, there's no Twilight Zone next week because she'll be lost in space.
Yeah, that'll be lost. So I better, yeah.
So don't take the Jupiter 2.
Don't take the
Jupiter
Jupiter
1.
2.
There's a Jupiter 2, then you have to understand there was probably a problem with the Jupiter 1.
Then
Yeah,
take
and
the Jupiter 3.
Yeah, in the movie,
go.
in the Lost in Space movie from '98, the Jupiter 1 looks like the Jupiter 2 from the TV series, and
Yeah.
that's the ship that blasts off the surface, and then once it gets into outer space, it splits open, and the Jupiter 2 emerges, the ship of the movie,
Oh.
and
It's been a
the
while.
thing is that the Jupiter 2 ship in the movie is so much bigger than the television series ship. It's humongous. So they have plenty of room to have not just one space chariot, but maybe 4 space chariots.
Uh-oh, Scotty. You're going to be defeated by the Force here. from the
Uh-oh.
Jedi
Don't make me
Master.
force choke. Uh-oh, who's he?
Oh.
What's that directed to at?
Oh,
Your
you're a
sad
jury?
belief in
Oh.
that ancient religion hasn't allowed you to summon the stolen data tapes.
Or giving you clairvoyance to
Yeah,
You were
yeah, yeah,
paying
yeah.
attention.
Yeah,
You were
I'm-
paying attention, Greek letters, Larson,
Yeah.
that I had jury duty, but they sent me a text message and they said to come next week. So I'm going next week.
And then
What?
now do you have to call in the night before? Because that's what I had to do. I would call in, and every time it would be, oh, you don't have to show up. It's been canceled. So so
Mhm.
apparently they settled out of court or whatever.
But
Oh, I would love for them to do that. I think they're just going to keep rescheduling me every week. I'm going to plan my entire life around the next, around Monday. And then on Monday morning, they're going to send me another text message. And it's going to happen in perpetuity where my Mondays are forever dashed because I'm preparing to have jury duty. That never happens.
yeah. Have you ever been on a jury before?
I haven't. No,
Yeah.
I got past the first stage one time,
Oh, okay.
and then I been
And then
on.
and then you were disqualified because you said, "Well, I'd hang the son of a bitch." No,
I don't know. I said something they didn't like. I have no idea.
oh dear. Yeah, that's it's like you never know.
Well, that's how I got off of jury duty recently. And they were like, "Do you have anything you want to declare to the court?" And I was like, "I'm a big fan of She-Hulk." And they were like, "Get out."
Get out of here.
So yeah,
That got you out.
yeah.
You can, like, you
Well,
can just
no,
go,
it was easy peasy. It was
it's
easy
like
peasy.
anything you'd like to. Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Boston Legal and Denny Crane. Yeah, get out
Yeah,
of here. No.
yeah. Catherine Janeway is my favorite Star Trek captain. All right, get out.
All right, that's enough.
And I was like, I don't think it's unreasonable. Any Kathleen
Oh,
Kennedy talk
I
will drive
see.
you to the dark side. Oh man. Well, then I won't talk about her.
Yeah, Jill just mentioned her, or someone mentioned.
I
Anyone
said
ever want to
Kathleen
talk
Kennedy, but it's
Boston space? That's my main focus.
she
Oh,
looks cute in the skirt.
Oh, well, I used to attend a podcast talking about Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we got all the way up to, we were in season 2, near the end of season 2,
yeah.
on the super robot episode. I forget the name of it.
That's the
Superman, super
the
robot.
android. No, wait a minute. The android invasion, I think it's called, something like that.
Mhm.
You guys were so good at that.
Yeah, we were, and yeah, it was hosted by pop culture curator who's no longer with us, and we miss him. But it was discussed that we wanted to continue those reviews, but it hasn't come to fruition, and I can't host it because I already host 2 shows, and I'm doing all these other things. But so it looks like Jedi Master is going to be doing Lost in Space reviews, but if we were to attend these, what time?
That's a bit presumptuous. He said he was
Yeah.
making them. He didn't say that you were invited.
Oh, that's true. No, but he actually did. He actually did in another podcast.
Okay, that's
say
fair enough.
if
That's fair enough.
somebody wanted to. Well, that's true. That is presumptuous. We're not trying to invade your channel, Jedi Master.
Look on the plus
Or
side. I do
I'm not
not
looking for-
wish to attend.
No, I don't.
I do.
I know exactly, but it depends on what day and what time you're going to be doing it because I have
Yeah.
limited schedule.
Yeah, I've
And
got
when?
the Mark Cushman books that I can read from if you want.
Used to have the podcast on Mondays around, what was it, 7 or 8? But I don't know what day or time are you thinking? Maybe we could talk about it later via DM. Okay, Jedi. I'll message you and see what's going on.
Oh, cool.
I'm totally in for the 98 movie, though. If you guys want to talk about the show, you can do it until the cows come home. But I'll watch the 98 movie.
Have you've seen
Yeah,
that,
but
right?
I've got it on DVD.
Yeah.
We've already my only problem is we've already reviewed so many episodes. So like, do we not want to show up and then just suddenly show up with when the super robot shows up?
I don't know. This sounds like something that a bunch of Lost in Space fans should talk about. Lost in Space fans. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I remember when that movie came out, my best friend has all these questions about the movie, and I said, well, if you watch the show, because you really needed to be familiar with the series to get some of the stuff in the movie. But
Mhm.
so I had to explain a few things to him. But yeah, I hadn't watched the series in a while, so it's like, boy, I'm a bigger fan of the series than I thought I was because
Well,
I
that's a
I could
question.
I could explain everything that he was asking. So
Well, we can continue this discussion, but I think I have to let Scotty go.
okay,
He needs to make a phone call, or can he make his phone call and come back? I don't know what he's doing.
he's
He
black
hasn't
and white,
communicated with
so
me exactly. Not leaving forever. Oh, okay. Yay. I assumed. But okay, so Stone Rocket, would you want to start reviewing Lost in Space all over again? Because he's starting back at episode 1, and I have all the materials to help him review it.
well, yeah, I wouldn't mind because I wasn't there at the beginning with y'all when Pop was doing it.
Mhm.
But
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I
I'll,
don't.
I'll message Jedi Master. We'll
Uh-huh.
figure it out. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
it's up to you, Jill. Your fantastic slides and all.
I
It's
got the slides. I got the notes.
yeah. And
It's working.
I did watch quite a few of the review streams. I know I watched the first 5, and then some of my favorites that you guys covered, like Wish Upon a Star.
Oh, you didn't start with us, so this is different for you. So you're not doing them over again.
No, see, I didn't start. I joined the chat
Mhm.
when you guys were doing, I think the 3rd episode I think it was, or the 2nd episode, the Ghost Planet,
Yeah,
the 2nd season,
gotcha.
and then I joined Pop on his Rumblings from the Lab that Saturday, I think, and then he invited me to actually be on the panel, something like
Well, it
that.
well, it's something that we've all wanted to do, and so that would be great. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I'll send you a link right
Okay,
now.
he's going to start with the actual first pilot,
Yes.
uh, No Place to Hide, which has no robot and no Dr. Smith. But they use
I
quite
could
a bit
talk
of
about it for a few minutes, but I do have to leave in about 15 to 20 minutes. Gotta
yeah.
go. But I'll send you a link right now, and we'll discuss it briefly before we end this Twilight Zone stream. Did we? Oh, before I
Oh,
bring you on,
the poll.
we got the poll. Yeah, first let's end the poll. Oh, it's 50-50. Does anybody want to break the 50-50 streak? I'll give you 1 minute for that. And while I give you a chance to sway the votes, I'm going to read our previews for next week. So, previews for next week's story. Next week, Mr. Richard Matheson lends us his fine writing talents when we bring you a unique and most arresting story of a movie actor who finds himself on that line between what is real and what is a dream. Mr. Howard Duff stars in A World of Difference, which I think you'll discover is a television play of difference too. That's next week's journey. And then also next week, the culprit is Charles Beaumont, the gentleman responsible for a story unlike any you've ever seen. You talk of immortality, the business of being able to live for as long as one wants. Well, next week, you'll see Kevin McCarthy at the tail end of a life that's gone on for 2,000 years. The play is called Long Live Walter Jameson on the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it's a, a great classic.
Mhm.
Long live Walter Jameson.
Oh, no, it's a 50-50. And, that's understandable because they're both good episodes. 50-50 split between both. My favorite is Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
Yeah, same here. And Scotty said the same thing that he.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one I voted for. And when I
It has
voted,
a lot to discuss.
when I voted, it was 57 to 40. I don't know. It was 57% for the monsters. So I thought, oh, it's getting kind of close.
Yep. Yep, it's a tie. It's a tie today.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, Jedi Master 2022. I just realized, do I follow you on Twitter? This is I don't know how to contact you.
Oh, he's got hopefully he can put something in the chat.
Yeah, please put your, if you're on Twitter, please put your handle in the chat. Or if you're okay, you followed me. All right. Well, then I'll have to look and see who's just followed me then. And so I've got followers. And the recent follow is okay, I gotcha. There you are. And I'll send you the link to the stream. And we can talk for a minute. I have approximately 15 minutes left to talk. So while that's happening, I want to thank everyone for spending time with us today to talk about the Twilight Zone. And also get a bit of backstage discussions on having Lost in Space streams again. And Orville Nation. Oh yeah, okay. He's not here, but my bot is working again. So this is the timer bot that tells you about channels that I like. And I definitely like PJ at Orville Nation. Check him out. He's wonderful. And I'd like to thank everyone who was here in the chat to make the discussion richer, like Greek Letters Larson, Lost in the Twilight Zone. No, sorry, wrong movie again. And Gavin Blackburn says 50-50 is fair. 2 great and very different episodes. And so I sent you a link. Let's see. Did I send it? Yes, I did. Hopefully I sent it to the right person and didn't send the link to another Jedi Master 2022. Tomix? Oh, I might have sent it. What? I sent it to someone who is following me. Tommy X?
No, it's to my ex.
Oh, to my, yeah, I did send it to you. It says Jedi Master 49467948. Is that correct? Because that's where I sent it.
Oh, delightful.
Well, that was the most recent follower for you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
Jill, this is ridiculous.
Okay. What's ridiculous?
So I was waiting for a call from my mechanic. And so I got a call from my mechanic. And I was like, oh, great. I can take my car in for the thing that I need fixed. And he's like, Scott, you know a lot about movies, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, who lost Best Picture? Or who won Best Picture over The Green Mile? And I'm like, off the top of my head, I think it's American Beauty. And they're like, okay, thanks, bye. And I'm like, wait, the car thing. It's ridiculous.
Oh, dear. Did you call him back?
No, he didn't want to say anything about the car, stupid mechanic. He wanted to know about the Green Mile, which makes me happier. But still.
Well, yeah, that's good because he's trying to connect with you. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Interesting when your mechanics try to be your friends.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Yes.
Hey, Jedi.
And welcome to Jedi Master. And also welcome to James Caserta, hashtag who remembers. Did you read that wrong? No, I didn't. I didn't say the other thing that you wanted me to say. I win this time.
There's all my toys
Good try.
behind my Lost in Space stuff.
Yay.
That's just a
Oh, wow.
sample. I got more in the closet beside me, my model kits.
Do you
They're
have
deeply closeted.
do you have
my
Tybo?
No, I don't have Tybo, but I got Major West. My
Yeah.
God, I actually lived near him in Massachusetts, and I actually became closer to him than everybody in the cast. I
Oh,
saw Bill a couple times live at some shows, and I actually keep in touch with him on Facebook. And we
oh,
talk
sweet.
about his music. He does music. He's got beautiful grandchildren. He's just got his daughter Lillian also was in the Santa Claus last two episodes, and she's got a child now, and they all look like little Bills. And he just has been working on the Full Mummy, his book on BillMummy.com. And they all have web pages. Mark Goddard, unfortunately, we lost him in 2010. He died at 87 years old, and it really hit a lot of us hard. He's like a friend to everybody, and he had me at his 82nd birthday party. And when I do my streams and stuff, and we review the episodes, I get some beautiful personal pictures of
Sweet.
with the cast and everything I want to share with y'all. And I want to take it back to No Place to Hide and go through each episode and break it down. I know I can't stream it, but I get slideshows I've made up over the years of each episode for my own personal screenshots and captures. And I've made them into folders for each episode. And I'm working on season 2 still. And I've got some of season 3 done. And there's some outrageous episodes we can do and laugh at as we get to them. But the serious ones are in season 1. I love season 1, and I wish they kept true to it. But they totally, Jonathan Harrison would have been out of work, he said, because they would have probably killed him off because he was really to be short, an SOB. He was a murderous. I mean, he tried to kill them all, but so.
Well, yeah, but that's why they kind of modify his character. But that's definitely something we're going to touch up on, how he goes from
excellent.
He goes from a murderous, guy who's trying to blow everybody up to
until a vaudevillian
goofy, a clown.
Yeah, that was Jonathan. He just said, "Oh, I've got to do something, or else they're going to get rid of my character." And Irwin Allen stops by. He goes, "I know what you're doing. Keep doing it."
Doing it. You took the words right out of my mouth, stoner.
Yeah. Gavin Blackburn says, "How many Jedi Master 2022s do you think exist? I saw 3 of them, and so I was confused."
So Jedi Master. When are you going to start your Lost in Space streams?
I got barely 20 subscribers, guys. I am in my infancy stage. I did an introductory video yesterday just to explain people. I'm going to not just talk Lost in Space, but that is going to be like one of my daily things. And then after that, I'm going to go on to like a weekly thing, an episode a week. And then I'm going to go on to other things like Star Wars, destroying Kathleen Kennedy, and anything coming out of Disney and
leave
Marvel.
Kathy alone.
That's not your business.
I will. Force lightning will shoot out my fingers. That woman has totally destroyed one of my favorite IPs, and I just can't forgive her.
If I weren't wearing headphones, I would stick fingers in my ears.
So, Jill, do you have the link to Jedi Master's channel?
His channel. Yes. Yeah, you can put it. Well, you can put it in the private chat if you want, but I should be able to grab it pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you do it because I'm new to this stuff, and you guys know how to grab that stuff and post it quicker than me.
Oh yes, and that's why. And I could do it very quick, or I can go slower and make it reusable. So I'm gonna make it right.
Stackovian has taken me under his wing, and he's teaching me some things about this stuff.
Well, it sounds like you've already got a lot ready to go. You have your own slides. That's incredible. Way to go. Because I work really hard on my slides, as you can tell from my show, and so that I can't wait to see yours, because the person who makes the slides, they show what they find important in the episode, and that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I do
So it'll
each
be a little.
episode. It's painstaking, but it's worth it.
It is. And I'm almost there. There it is.
And I'll show you guys my
I'm gonna copy
lithograph
this.
sometime.
A lithograph. Well, yeah. Well, save the good stuff for your show. I gotta
Oh
go.
yeah,
anyway.
definitely. Yeah. I know you all do. I appreciate it. I really do. And everybody, please subscribe, smash the like button, and leave a comment on my video and my introductory video and my slideshows, please. So the algorithm will finally grab me eventually. And
yes, and if you're just listening, we've got a link to Jedi Master 2022's channel on the screen, youtube.com/at Jedi Master 2022 rant with the capital R. And so you've got one video so far on your channel?
Yeah, it was like a minute and 30 seconds saying, hey, how y'all doing? This is what I'm up to and everything.
Great.
You can tell I'm from Massachusetts originally, but I moved to Florida and I couldn't take the cold no more.
Fair enough. Good move.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I'm
it's good to meet
subscribed.
you.
Jedi
I know
Master.
we were
Thank
on
you
the
very
same,
much.
No problem.
I know we were on the same panel yesterday, but it's good to actually meet you today. To actually get to talk
Yeah.
to you a bit.
That was a long day with Tony. It was so much
Oh,
fun.
that was a wild show. It was very relaxing stream to be on, despite all the bells and whistles happening all over the place with them singing and everything.
Yeah. I can't wait to get my Muppet done. And anyways, let me let you go because I talk too much and I
Yes.
got caffeine in me and marijuana and blah, 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 blah.
Hello.
Yay!
And now you've made a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
It's medicinal.
Yes, of course it is. Just like Romulan ale.
That's illegal.
I only use it for medicinal purposes.
I prefer sorry and brandy.
Oh, you know what? And this is the thing that I love about that scene is when Kirk says, "What's this? Klingon aphrodisiacs?" I didn't understand that as a child. I was like, "What the hell is an aphrodisiac?" And then when I found out later, it was just like bones. No pun intended.
He's
Like
being
he
naughty.
ever needed one.
He's
Like he
being
ever needed one with all the women Kirk was with.
Yeah. But it's just it's a fun throwaway line of two friends just being sort of like joshing. It's great.
Yeah.
Yes, so I do have to go. I do have to pick up my children, or I'd hang out and play a little longer. But I want to thank everyone.
You for having me.
Yes, I want to
nice
thank,
to meet you, Jedi Master.
Master.
Likewise.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Jedi Master, for showing us some of your toys. We'll see them more up close on his channel if you want to see his reviews of Lost in Space. I think that's a great balance because even though you're going to be upset about some current things, you're also showing some things that you love also. So that's a good start. Better to start a channel with love rather than hate, and so we can roll into your discussions on that. And that's a good start. I appreciate that. And thank you to Stone Racket and Scotty R37 for talking to me about the Twilight Zone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.
Y'all got pages, Scotty and Stoner? Put them in now.
No, I'm an internet hobo.
Oh, yeah. You're nomadic?
I am somewhat nomadic, but I found places that allow me in, much like Jill. Jill lets me frustrate. And then I also go and hang out on Cinema Gulp, and I'm on the Phantasmagorium as well. We're just starting up a new show. We just finished up The Matrix. We did all the matrices, and now we're heading into a little bit of an Ethan Hunt zone. We're gonna Mission Impossible. So we're doing all of the Mission Impossibles going up until the last Mission Impossible, or at least the most recent Mission Impossible coming out in theaters this year.
Yeah, that is going to be Mission Impossible 8 this in May.
And it's so fun because I haven't seen so many of them. Like, I think I've only seen like 3, the first 3, and I don't even think I saw the second one. And so going through these, it's just going to be, and this is how it's going to go with my co-host and co-producer Steve. He hasn't seen a lot of the Mission Impossible movies, so this is going to be brand new for us. And I love exploring new media, and so we're going to check out the one of the most successful action franchises of the last or this century.
Radical.
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen them, so maybe I should watch them with you guys, but not be on the panel.
No, you're more than welcome. Just check out. The thing is, and cruel irony that it is, Jill, the one that I'm most excited for is the one directed by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that's Ghost Protocol.
No, it's 3. It's Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah, Ghost Protocol.
No, Ghost Protocol is 4.
The good Stone Racket?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. It's just simply Mission Impossible 3. It doesn't have a subtitle.
Yeah, from what I understand. Yeah, the first 3 are only 1, 2, 3.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, the one with that J.J. Abrams directed is pretty good because it makes up for the really bad Mission Impossible 2.
I know.
But yeah, Ghost Protocol is 4, and starts a totally new arc.
But we'll get to it.
But the thing is, you need to see Mission Impossible 3
to know who Ethan Hunt's wife is. Spoiler.
Yes, to his wife. I didn't want to spoil it, but yeah,
right.
You're correct.
It's old. It's old.
It's yeah, but yeah, it's I really enjoyed the last one, and it was released at the wrong time of the year. I wish they had waited till maybe the fall because it was quite a crowded summer, and it didn't make as much money as the others, which was a shame because I thought it was really enjoyable.
But that's what we're doing over on the Phantasmagorium. And so, yeah, no, that's where I get to play. I get to co-host on many a channel, and that's the fun of it.
Fantastic. I also want to say hello to the Outcast Creative Lance. Hey, Jill, on a train, just popping in to give you a like. Thank you so much. And the bot has posted your link here to your channel. And Stone Racket. No, wait, that's the wrong cat. I put cat in, but I was like, wait, that's a different cat.
Yeah, it's a different cat.
And here's the correct cat.
Meow.
Yeah, could you tell us anything you want to share?
I have cats. Yeah, I'm an avid collector of physical media like Scotty. In fact, while I was away for a few minutes there on today's stream, I took advantage of Criterion's 50% off sale on their website, and I ordered the dual 4K combo set of Yojimbo and Sanjuro, two Akira Kurosawa classics, samurai classics. And I've been wanting to get that set, and it was half price. I said, "Oh, I gotta order this." And
there you go. Cool.
Yeah, there's my link to Twitter, and then I'm on Blu-ray, the Blu-ray.com forums. I don't post as much as I used to, but I still once in a while. And both of my cats, Chico and Harpo, are celebrities there, so you can check out that. And thanks again, Jill, for having me on your live streams. And I don't have a channel of my own, but I hang out on other people's channels, especially Jill's wonderful YouTube channel, where we get to talk about the things we love, classics, classic TV and classic movies.
Yes, and soon we may be joining Jedi Master to talk about Lost in Space, which will be interesting. Well, we'll see what goes on with that. The Jedman says, ironically, yes, Jedi Master did leave. See you later. The Dead Man says, ironically, Mission Impossible is the one franchise that JJ made better.
See?
Yeah, he improved. His film is solid. Some people don't like it as well, but I like it better than the first two for sure. I thought it got back on track with the third film. And
I do have to go though.
Yeah, we gotta let you go.
Yeah. Let's pick that up on a shore leave. You can tell me all about
Or you can see it
Okay.
at Phantasmagorium. Come on,
Or you
check it
could
out.
watch
It's
it on
usually Thursday
Right.
nights at 10:30 Pacific or 10:30 Eastern time, 7:30.
10:30. It used to be 10. Now it's 10:30. You pushed it.
Yeah, well, I need more time to drink.
Okay. Well, and I want to thank everyone in the chat for the discussion. Swift -1. Thank you for the super chat for $1. Thank you to Old Man Bird. And thank you to Sigvaldison for the presents.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But I also
You do-
appreciate everybody. Go ahead.
I did a shout out. I raised my hand to the sky and said, Eugene. That's all I did.
And thanks to everyone in the chat. I'm not sure if I'll get you all. I don't know if this thing gets everybody, but thank you to DJ Knight, DJ Play Nice.
Penny. Good to see
Penny.
Penny.
Yeah, Penny.
At G.
Penny, did Penny get her ID? Did we get that?
She's got to wait 2 weeks. She's got to wait 2 weeks.
Oh, goodness golly.
But she's all set up from what I understand. It's just going to arrive in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it takes a couple of weeks to get the final license, but she's issued a temporary until that time. That's how they do
in
it.
my chat. I missed it.
Yeah, I missed it too.
What?
No, the thing about Penny.
Oh yeah, no, I've been reading it.
Yeah.
The chat, I mean.
Yep, Scotty reads the chat.
I was reading the chat too, and I completely missed all that news.
Greek
but
letters.
I'm glad things are going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yes, Greek letters. Thank you, Greek letters, for being here in Sigvaldison. And Gorilla's censored thoughts. I have to sneeze.
Gesundheit in advance. Gavin Blackburn was here. That's amazing.
Yeah, Gavin Blackburn.
James Caserta.
Sigvaldison.
Old Man Bird.
Old Man Bird. Nice.
We could just,
Jedi Master 2022.
That's true. He was here. We saw him.
He was actually on the panel. We saw him. And some of his
clearly from
Lost in Space Toys. Yay.
Yeah. Ben Frail. So super jazzed to see Ben Frail.
But don't forget Daniel's Hot Topics.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget Daniel's Hot Topics.
Miss Sparkles. Miss Sparkles was here too.
Oh, yeah. Miss Sparkles.
But somebody who should be on this list who isn't, Miss Martin Muses. I remember seeing her earlier.
Yeah, we saw her.
I thought I did too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she was here. And the Dead Man who just arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead Man's been here for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's been here for a while. I thought
a little bit, but it's always nice to have just the tip.
Yeah, same with me, Daniel. I'm running out of room, but I keep collecting.
That was one of Bird's favorite jokes, so it was absolutely lovely, actually.
Babu. Great.
And I suppose that's it. Let's see, where's
it's over?
It's over, yeah.
All right.
It's over.
So, that's all for this time. Yes.
Saturday or Friday. What are we doing on Friday? Got to get down on
Friday. Superman 2.
Superman 2
on Friday. I don't know what I'm doing. If any comic book experts are out there, come DM me on Twitter here at Antiderivative1 if you'd like to join the panel. I would like some experts, please.
Yeah, that would not be me. I'm not a comic book expert. I do like the Donner cut of Superman 2.
Or if you just like the movie, you can join the panel too. Just let me know.
So, are you doing the theatrical or the Donner cut?
Yes.
Both?
Well, if you have time to check them both out, it'll be an interesting compare and contrast. Jill, which one are you watching?
I have no idea yet.
So there you go.
I've got
it is like the show is ready. Like if you want to go to Antiderivative Jill's channel and you want if you want her to be preferential to one cut or the other, she can only make slides out of one. She can't make slides out of both. That's too much. But I'm just saying, if you would like her to watch one or the other, let her know. Or at Antiderivative 1 on X, you can just let her know for Friday, which Superman 2.
Yeah, Jedi Master's with me. He wants the Donner cut.
There they are, Jill. Those are the Donner Cut people. Let's fight about Maple Street.
Yeah, we got to go to Maple Street and then fight.
There it is. See, Jedi Master wants theatrical too.
So you have
Actually,
an
I think he's
elephant
just
as your
giving the
avatar.
options of both. Yeah. I have a Superman avatar, although it's John Hamm. It's not me.
Yeah, John Hamm.
Yes, that's right. Elephants are my favorite land animal.
Well, he's really cute.
Yeah, thanks. It's a girl elephant because it's me.
Oh, oh, it's a girl elephant. Okay, well, still cute.
Yep. Yeah. AI can be useful sometimes. Greek Letters Larson says it's a golden opportunity to upgrade your clip library with the Kneel Before Zod.
Kneel Before Zod.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not talk too much about. Okay, so that's
you're
all
also
for this time.
You're gonna need Jay from Mallrats saying Kneel Before Zod. Anyway,
that's all for this time in the Twilight Zone. Thanks again for everyone being here, being amazing, spending your time here with me with the panel and the chat. And I hope to see you again next Tuesday and also on Friday. But next Tuesday for your next time in the Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone and the Tangent Zone.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
See you around the galaxy.